Flies by Dolly Parton.
Sure could.
It's all brought to you by Matt's Furniture. Online at mattsfurniture.ca. True Fit Denture Clinic. No one should know you wear dentures, not even you. The Sunday morning request and dedication program with Ray Allen from country's greatest hits. 620 CKRM. Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Kellen Solar, installing solar in residential and commercial buildings for 35 years. Local and trusted. Kellen Solar. Visit kellensolar.com. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Houda and Mario Alford back to return. This one will be taken by Alford right in the middle of the field at his 10. Up to the 20, 25, 30. Has a seam to the 40, 50. Mario Alford down the sideline.
Let's go.
Be caught. Yeah. Flags. Mario Alford. Touchdown. Riders.
There it is, Maz.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
From Friday night, a Luke Wilson special, walk-off, Riders win, Riders move to 3-0. Oh, do we have things to get to on the Monday edition of the Sports Cage for Kellen Solar? Anything you need solar, you can visit the guys and girls in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. They can get you hooked up. The Prairieland Rentals text line. 936-6262. Prairieland Rentals, 600 Albert Street since 1980. Power tools, gardening tools. If you want to buy or rent, they're your place. We want to engage you. Or you can call 1-866-767-0620. Let's start with the Rider game first. 3-0. Again, not a Picasso, as they say. Not like the prettiest... But I'm talking to a couple of gentlemen at the gym today, and I know you're going to chuckle when I say I went to the gym. And they're talking about, they could, what the record could be. And I said, that's hard. That is hard to decipher, to say, because when you look at any team, NFL, NHL, the Florida Panthers that just won the Stanley Cup, throughout the season, there are low times. There are times where you think you're junk. We're not very good. Our team's not very good. Maybe some of these wins haven't been, if you were playing a video game, exactly how you would play them, but they're 3-0. Like this win in Toronto, like we talked about last week, the Hamilton win, where Rider teams in the past maybe would have let that one go away. When it comes to October, and there's you always look back, right? Or the Calgary Flames this year. They would always look back and go, oh, what if we would have won those games on that trip, yada, yada.
Speaking of Calgary, that game they lost on Saturday to the Red Blacks, that's going to cost them down the road. Like you said, that will come back to haunt. Hey, on Friday, I agree, not a Picasso. It had everything. We were good. We were bad. We were undisciplined. We had the football gods smile on us. We had the football gods not smile on us. And it was a combination of 2-3 years ago, this was a game that we would have lost. We would have tied the game at 32, and then we would have given up the walk-off, kickoff return touchdown, which I have no idea. First of all, why would you kick it to him? Squib it to the middle of the field because you're trying to kill clock, right? So you nullify a return. Yep. And then the other thing, you only had 11 dudes on the field. Somebody... And Dinwiddie was hot. I loved Dinwiddie after the game. He was so mad. He was so fired up at his team. Heads are going to roll. Guys are getting cut. And we had him on the show 6 weeks ago. Just a good dude.
Yeah.
Just coaching hard. Just coaching.
Huge dinger in while we're doing the interview.
No Winston McManus. You're down 6 starters, but you were scrappy. You came back and, hey, we'll take it.
And as we go along here, and I'm sure the text line and is going to, buzz on. Toronto had, 8 players in, 8 players out, and they didn't have their full. Arbuckle isn't a bad quarterback.
No.
Like, and you're going into Toronto. What's that? The first time that the Riders have won in Toronto since 2019?
2019.
Like,
No.
not an easy place. Not an easy place to win. And you talked about the undisciplined side of the ball game. I listened to this game. I didn't get a chance to watch it at all. I was listening. Dave and Luke painting the picture. And it was a little bit of what I gathered, eye for an eye, like a hockey game, like a senior hockey, like an old junior game. You know, guy gets run, goalie gets run, then you retribution, right? Back and forth, back and forth. It's what it kind of felt like. And it was a little bit off-brand for this year's Riders because last week, remember I was bringing up, like, we haven't had a lot of penalties this year, where last year we were talking about it more.
Del Duncan Busby had the low hit, or had the hit. Was it low? I
think it was.
I
vote on was.
That it was legal or illegal?
Well, I don't know the exact ruling on that. I've never liked those hits. It reminded me of Titans wide receiver on Chris Harris back in the Broncos years ago. It was just super dirty and ugly. But I don't like it. I don't like that one.
So when that hit happens, and I'm like, and then they got to cart him off, and I'm like, Trevor Harris is next up. Somebody's taking a run at Harris, and it wasn't too long after that where there was a headshot on Harris and a roughing the passer call.
It would.
That's what happens. But it didn't die down. And the other thing too, and I hate this about the CFL, and I'm going to go Luke Wilson here. For the love of you know who,
Gord,
do whatever you can to these stadiums. Have the teams on separate sidelines. You're only asking for it where all you've got is a couple of TV monitors that stand with the old school dial-up telephone and a couple of off-field officials separating two teams playing with adrenaline. Get them on opposite sides. You're only going to have more problems.
Does seem a little odd. For sure.
Seems very high school, very amateur.
Even in high school, we ran separate sidelines. I remember.
I know.
But back to the hit, and it's like, yeah, you mentioned, you were like, yeah, Harris, watch out. It'd have been funny if it was like hot Mates puts in Tommy Stevens. All right, you want to take a run? Let's go, knuckle up. But no, that doesn't happen. It's all around. You know, the game, you go out east twice. Do you have the audio ready? Yeah. Okay. The one comment we'll get to in a second from Tavon Campbell, and he mentions about how. But this is Coach Mace post game with Luke.
All of the momentum that was given back to Toronto was self-inflicted.
I mean, this is, I don't know the exact number. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if it's close to 200 yards of penalties we gave up, which is, at this point, super uncharacteristic for us. We had, I think, first game 5 penalties, second game 3 penalties, and we were championing that. We were feeling really good, and then it just kind of fell off the rails, and we see what that looks like. Potentially what that can do to a team if we don't keep our composure and play clean. So we made it hard on ourselves, no doubt.
He'd probably still give that comment today if he was on the coach's show. But on the coach's show today, we got Kent Majuri, which is fantastic because he's the special teams coordinator.
I hate these misconduct penalties in the CFL ever since they brought them in, as much as I hate the puck over the glass in the NHL. They're chintzy. They're cheap. There's no explanation other. There's a misconduct felt. Well, what actually happened? Is it something the guy did or something the guy said? Now you 2 of these and you're gone. Like they're over-regulating the league. And so what was the grand total? Over 300 yards in penalties on Friday. It was a bit of a tough watch because almost every play there was a flag. And apparently on the Alford touchdown, although there were only 11 dudes on the field for the Argos, there was a block in the back that got missed. If you go back and you rewatch the game and you can see it, that didn't get called, surprisingly, because they called everything else. And it was too much. It was too much.
There's probably a very subjective officiating. A lot of it is subjective. there's probably a block in the back or a
Every play.
suspect everywhere. Every football. It doesn't matter
play.
if you watch Waka play Hafford in 6-a-side or 9-a-side football, whatever. There's a block in the back somewhere, or from the side-ish area. So, very subjective. Okay, we talk about the going east twice, and I remember when the schedule came out. That was the first thing when I saw it, and I'm like, well, they'll just stay there. Like they'll just practice in Burlington and go to the coat factory or do whatever.
The Riders are better off. They have like the best facilities in the league. So if you have to rehab or you got all of your medical stuff, you fly back home, because if you are on the road in Burlington, as you say, and you can't, there's nothing at BMO Field. That's a soccer stadium. The Argos barely play there. There's no facilities for medical treatment. You're off-site at some quasi-junior college somewhere. So come back home. You have the best of everything, and then fly back out. And it's a 3-hour flight. It's the it's the travel, but you go. I figured when I saw that schedule come out, if we could make it through the first 4 weeks, 3-1, mission accomplished for that portion of the schedule. Now we have a chance to go 4-0. I don't want to jinx it, but like to me, the hardest part of the biggest test of the season is over with, and we came out 2-0 on the double road trip.
Here's Coach Mace post-game again talking about the grind and going out east and what they had to do.
This is 2 tough weeks back-to-back, coming back to Ontario.
Yeah, coming out east is never an easy thing to do, and I know what people are going to say about this team. I don't care what you say. That was a Grey Cup MVP playing quarterback for them. They're defending Grey Cup champions. This is not an easy place to win. So it was a tall task for us on a short week and traveling out east. So. I just told the guys, look, we know we're going to end up watching and fixing stuff, but I'm just so proud of them being able to handle all that, come out here and walk away with a win, and certainly, how the special teams answered there at the end of the game. I mean, that's a dream, and that's a credit to a lot of people.
Kent Majuri is coming up, and what do we have here? In about 10 minutes' time for the coaches show. Timing couldn't be perfect, more perfect after what we saw. Mario Alford running it back. Brett Lawther, though, again, didn't watch the game, was listening. Missed another chip. Would you call that one a chip shot ish?
Well, it was an extra point. It would have put it up 2 scores.
Yeah. See that? Or do we want to talk about that? I know that was the thing last week, but like. I'm starting to feel bad for the fella.
Maybe in week 3 it doesn't cost you because the football gods smiled on you, and it kind of got righted. But if it's November and we're playing the Bombers, and it's a tie or it's a 1-point game, Sergio Castillo, they're watching that game. BC just bombing them from 60, just straight down the pipe.
Guy can kick.
He can kick. Yeah, I don't know. And we'll ask Majeri, like, as the special teams coach, do you talk to your kicker? Do you just let it, he's a pro, you let him work itself out? Like, what do you do? The best part of the game as a fan, and I've been saying this since last year at training camp, Donnie Myers had a breakout game. Donnie Myers is establishing himself so last year, I'm like, so we had to suffer through Jareth Stearns dropping every second pass. But we couldn't get Donnie Myers on the roster because Stearns was taking over. Now, Donnie Myers, like Keyshawn Johnson, just like becoming just a weapon for Trevor Harris. A weapon. So dependable.
Most people saw that coming. It was like, get this guy a permanent spot. Look what he can do. And that, I think that's just going to grow. Again, don't want to jinx things. Another guy, and everyone's been high on him because he's a local, because he rolls. Interception guy. Friday night, Tavon Campbell, post-game with Luke on the game and the pick.
I feel good, man. A win's a win. I'm proud of the guys. I'm proud of the unit. I'm proud of defense, special teams, offense. I think we got a lot to clean up. There's a lot of penalties and a lot of little things here and there. But, man, we just keep building every week, and hopefully get that shit.
Well, it's tough coming out to Ontario twice, right? Back to back against two good teams.
No doubt. Man, we were talking about we should have stayed in the East, but it doesn't matter. If we traveling back and forth, we just got to put our best foot forward.
Talk about your interceptions today. I love the way you used your sideline as your second defender, but talk about what you were going through on that play.
It kind of played up from the first deep ball that they threw to 86, and the coach is telling me, man, just play the eyes, play the ball, play the quarterback. Don't look back at the receiver. So I'm like, all right, bet. I knew he was either doing a comeback or going deep. He started going deep, so I was just looking at the quarterback. Quarterback threw it up. I said, all right, let me catch up. But I just knew I had to jump high for that ball and just came down on my back. Oh, my goodness. But, it felt great. It felt good to get the first pick. And even my young bull out there in Calgary, Adrian, I know he got 2 last week, so I'm like, man, I got to get me 1.
He's just trying to keep up.
Yeah, I was trying to keep up, bro.
He sounds like a great interview for starters. Sounds like a good guy. Probably has some real good trash talk, some good chirps coming from Tavon Campbell. That was nice to see.
Speaking of local products, and I know it was early in the game, but it was key, and they don't go to him a ton, but whenever they do, he just seems to make catches. There's that over-the-shoulder, over-the-defender, Mitch Picton catch that he caught to keep the drive going to help the Riders go down and score after they were already down 7-0. It was a small play like that kept the drive alive, and it was spectacular. But if Mitch doesn't catch that, we're punting and we're giving the ball back, but Picton catches that because he is sure-handed and dependable, and the Riders keep the ball moving, and we keep on trucking. It was just a small, tiny play, and so Marcus Fields was all over the place on Friday. He was a demon. He was tackling everything. There's just guys doing stuff that maybe didn't grab the highlights like Mario Alford did. They're showing again at TSN again and again and again. There was just a lot of small little things that, once again, we don't care how, we just care how many, because look what the Bombers did. Luckily, the Stamps turned into the Stamps who we thought they might be. And Vernon Adams Jr. playing from behind is a whole lot different than Vernon Adams Jr. who's playing with a lead. They had 5 turnovers and gave up 220 yards rushing. And they lost to a suspect Ottawa team.
Yeah, we can get to that a little bit more later and the games last week, but talk about weather in Calgary. And there was at some point, it's like, are we really going to play this game? And not even joking, if people didn't see it, there, and rightly so, there had to be
1,000 people there.
1,200 people.
No, that looked like a University of Dino, a UFC Dino crowd,
like
sitting
you were
at McMahon Stadium.
You were hardcore if you went to that game on Saturday in Calgary.
That'd be nuts.
I don't. If my kid's playing, I don't even know if I go to that game in Calgary on Saturday. I'm not ponchoing it up in toque and boots.
That's like not buying your wife a card for your wedding anniversary.
Hey,
that
card boycott. Card boycott still alive in 2025. No deal.
That equates to that. Well, but speaking of Thursday night, it was beautiful weather in Edmonton for their home opener. Nobody showed up for that against the Alouettes.
Can we get to attendance later? We got to get to attendance. We got to get to the Luke Wilson comments. 936-6262, Prairie Land Rentals text line. Colson said we can take some calls here later in this hour, 866-767-0620. If you got something that's bothering you, there's already been a few coming in on the Riders, and it's basically not about it being a Picasso like we talked about, but a win's a win. We're got the Coach's Show coming up. If you're watching the stream, thank you very much at sportscage.com through our YouTube channel. Colson says thanks to everyone who's hitting the like button and subscribe. You got to subscribe as well. And as always, we're on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
Sometimes you need the kids, the cousins, and the neighbors to pitch in and get her done. That's just one of the beautiful things about farming. When you need more help, it's there. It's why Municipal Hail Insurance offers 3 tiers of stackable insurance, including AMHI, spot loss hail insurance sold at cost. Buy it alone or in addition to SMHI or PMHI. Want a higher indemnity limit? Call us today. Municipal Hail Insurance. We've got you covered. Purchase AMHI by August 1st.
Did you know over 1.3 million homeowners call on Reliance for their water heater needs? With over 140,000 five-star online reviews and over 60 years experience, you could say Reliance Heath are water heater experts. Switch to Reliance Heath today. They'll give you $200 plus standard installation is included. For all your hot water needs,
Call on Reliance.
Visit waterheaterrentals.com for details. Terms and conditions apply.
Way to go, Travis Kelce. I mean, son.
As fun as it is watching your 5-year-old run the wrong way or pick dandelions on the football field, what if I told you you could watch your favorite sports or shows on the go anywhere? Well, you can with MaxStream TV from EchoSound, your SaskTel authorized dealer. Take MaxStream anywhere you go.
Oh, wrong way, buddy.
MaxStream and great internet plans available at EchoSound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel, echosound.ca.
Hey, we're Harvard Media. A few times a year, we love to get together with our favorite businesses and throw a good old-fashioned classic auction.
Whoa.
There's nothing like waiting until the last minute, battling out other bidders, and claiming your prize. We're looking for businesses to join up for our next one. All we need from you is an experience, service, or item like a gift card. In return, we'll serve you up a top-tier ad campaign. No cash needed. This is a trade deal. Check out harvardmedia.com for info. Terms and conditions apply.
It's finally returned. 0% financing is back at Capital Ford. That's right, interest rates are low and inventory is high, just like the good old days. Check out the 2025 Escape, Bronco Sport, or the best-selling F-150 and get 0% financing over 72 months, OAC. Plus, Cash for Clunkers is back. That means a guaranteed $2,500 trade when you buy with us. So what are you waiting for? Get into your brand new truck or SUV at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Back to Sportscage. Text 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Welcome back. Monday for Kellen Solar. Maz is with me. Colson's in the pocket on the other side of things. Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation 50-50 this week. Riders5050.ca. If you'd like to get in on the early bird game, you have until Thursday at 5 p.m. Maz, this one is good. They're keeping it Canadian. I like it. This week's early bird prize, PEI. I've been there. Lovely place. The Cavendish Beach Music Festival includes flights for 2 from Saskatchewan to Charlottetown, 4 nights hotel accommodations, 2-person VIP admission to the 3-day Beach Music Festival, car rental included. Uber. That sounds like an Uber trip. Or taxi cabs.
Yeah. Ditch that car rental. You're not going to need that.
Although it's a small island, and if you get buckled up and then you come to the next day and you want to cruise the island, rental car wouldn't be bad. It's nice. It's a nice drive. Lots of potato farmers. Lots of nice golf courses. Round trip transfers from the airport. I don't understand if you got a rental though. Why do you need those? Or you can take $76.50 cash, not $7,600, $76.50.
But at the Cavendish Music Festival, playing night 1 is Shania Twain. Playing night 2 is Brian. Let's see. Why is it? Let's see. Oh,
Adams?
Tyler Hubbard. Sorry. No, Tyler Hubbard of Florida Georgia Line. Well, they broke up. And then night 3 is Lainey Wilson, who's like the hottest female in country music these days. So that's the lineup. Those are the headliners for the Cavendish Music Festival. And there's a bunch of other people playing that weekend as well.
What about B-lister? Any kind of like Mark Chestnut? Any Tracy Lawrence? Anything like that? Restless Heart? Nothing like that? We can get back to that. But anyway, Riders.
Bluest Eyes in Texas. I saw the video for that the other day on my Excite on my Samsung channel or whatever. God, they were so good. But then Larry Stewart left the band.
Riders5050.ca. Early bird you have until Thursday at 5 p.m. Colson. Okay. We're waiting. We're efforting to get Coach Kent Majuri. Colson's having some technical issues for the Coaches Show. So as soon as we get him on, we'll have him. Coaches Show is brought to you by Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation 50/50. Perfect. And Steelcraft Doors in Regina. They are now into their new 40,000 square foot operation on Park Street. So while we wait, okay, now let's go into attendance. What was the average for the week? What did I see? 15-ish?
10 grand. Wasn't it 10 grand?
And that's like season ticket holders that purchased in area like Calgary. If they go off real like human bodies that were in McMahon Stadium, that drops significantly. I have this week's average attendance in 4 games, 15,784.
No, that's a lie.
I didn't see the Edmonton game, but I heard about it.
Sparse. People are saying, like, people like Elk Media, they're saying there was maybe 10,000. Maybe. And that place holds 60. So 10 in that place, it looks sparse to begin with.
You could have played at Ford Field. Do they still have Ford Field in Edmonton? 10,000 in that stadium. That's a bad look.
I know. Toronto, it's always dicey trying to get fans. So, like we asked Dave today, was everybody sitting on the camera side and not on the... No, it was all Rider fans anyways, weather-related in Calgary. But also then, too, somebody put up that was actually at the Stampeder game saying, hey, I braved this. I saw it on social media. They drop it in the chat. They took a picture of the prices. They're charging for a 355 milliliter can of beer, Coors Light or Molson Canadian, it's $12.50. And if you want a Pepsi or a 7-Up, it's $7.50. In what world can people afford to go out and take a family with prices like that? I get it, there's inflation. But to a point of, that's ridiculous. And they also commented, too, that a hamburger is $15. Maybe it's a triple, but I doubt it.
There's no burger in the world that's worth $15 to me. Even I got sucked into one of those. Was it Guy Fieri or one of those guys in Vegas? And one guy has a burger joint. One of the big chefs.
Guy Fieri.
What's the other
Gordon
guy?
Ramsay has
Gordon
one.
Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay.
Ramsay's
has
burger
one.
place. So I expect this like unbelievable trip to Flavortown. My taste buds are never going to be the same. All that. And I can't remember how much I paid. And I was like, huh? That's it? No. Give me a small town cafe, cheeseburger, smushed down, old school.
Now, as long as the CFL is a league that needs attendance. Now, the NFL is different. Between the TV deal and the private sponsorships, they don't need to sell a single seat. Those owners make money. It does not matter if nobody showed. It's a nice bonus. But in the CFL, you still need attendance. You actually need real fans showing up to help supplement the gate or to supplement your bottom line. And as long as you need that, and that's the big question. And I think that's what, when Luke Wilson kind of went off on Twitter, and if you haven't seen it, he's questioning about how are you going to get new people interested in this league with the product that you have? And hey, it's the question everybody's trying to answer. I don't know if there's a simple one to it, but jamming people with exorbitant prices, especially on a not necessarily awesome weather day, not going to make people want to go, yeah, let's do that. Spur of the moment.
As we wait for Coach Kent Majuri here, the Luke Wilson thing, and we'll go through it, and I think that's where a lot of people are going to want to comment today. Prairie Line Rentals text line 936-6262. Is he makes some good points, no doubt. Then there's some stuff that we've been talking about, attracting the younger demographic to this game. I don't. The on-field product as a whole, I don't know if you like this analogy that I went with earlier. It's like, hey, I went. You can go see a concert. Scotty McCreery at Casino Regina, small venue, smaller guy, way better than some of the Kenny Chesney shows I've seen at big NFL stadiums. The size doesn't matter. It's entertainment value. Find the CFL to be very entertaining a lot of times. And then it's like he brings up the point where bad games in the NFL, yes, but the NFL is in a different situation, like you said. That's where you're getting at. They don't need They don't need anybody.
They
in
don't
the
need
stands.
fans.
They don't need anything.
They sadly
biggest TV show in the world, too.
Yeah, and growing, and growing, not declining. It's growing.
I don't know. The thing. This is just my thought process on it all, and I brought this up with hockey, brought this up with golf, definitely football, and you see that football as a whole, NFL, is down. Last year's total number was down from the year before, and it keeps going down because it is so easy and comfortable to watch on TV nowadays. All sports. Hockey is, unless you're from Canada and you've played it and you've taken a cross-check in the face, and I get it, and you put on skates in a cold arena, then watching hockey on TV, we get it. But if you drop an American up here or somebody from another country to say, hey, watch this hockey game on TV, they can't follow the puck, nor should they. It is a fast game. Watching hockey on TV isn't great. But football, you get a lazy boy, you get the bag of chips, whatever, your Slurpee, you sit down and you watch football. It's way better than being in a stadium, NFL included, nowadays.
The way they shoot football, you miss so much when you're there watching live. Like, you catch 1/20th of every play. TV, you have every angle. And if TSN is putting extra money into it, you get extra angles. But if it's a regular season game, you only get this certain amount of angles. But you get more. Live football, it's just an experience, and it's an experience you have to be into, and you have to be prepared to. There's gaps, there's a lot of stoppages, and you're probably going to miss some stuff. Do you watch the ball or do you watch the play? Okay, if you're only watching the ball, you only see certain things. But if you watch the play, but it's hard to watch like an all 24 camera because our brains are not trained that way. Don't get me wrong. I love going to football games. It's an event. It's not a hockey game. Football games are an event because there's the before, the during, and the after. But not necessarily everybody has 6 to 7 hours that they want to give to an event. Yeah. Where hockey now, you can be a tight 3 hours. Tight turn, 3 hours, in, out.
Colson's over there. I think we got Coach Kent Madrid. So we're going to go to break. Then we're going to come back with the coaches show. We'll pick up this. There are tons of text messages on the Luke Wilson thing, on the game, on attendance. What else do we got here? On Brett Lauber, lots of people.
I get it. But if Wilson's comments made you mad, that's one thing. But was he wrong? That's the question that I'll ask, because he wasn't wrong about everything. I don't agree with everything, but he wasn't wrong about everything.
Let's get back into that right away. We're going to go to break, and then we're going to come back with the coaches show. It is the Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
Don't miss the McBids Auctioneers online complete dispersal sale for Simply Home and Leisure Regina location, closing tomorrow at 2 p.m. Some items up for auction include smokers, trailers, saunas, fire tables, bar stools, televisions, wood pellet grills, and much more. That's the McBids Auctioneers online complete dispersal sale for Simply Home and Leisure Regina location, closing tomorrow at 2 p.m. For more information, visit mcbids.ca.
You don't go to Country Thunder to see your favorite artist. You go to Country Thunder to see all your favorite artists. Country Thunder Saskatchewan returns with Def Leppard, Jason Aldean, Bailey Zimmerman, plus Nate Smith, Tyler Hubbard, Kip Moore, Tim Hicks, and so many more. Guarantee your spot. Country Thunder Saskatchewan, July 10th to 13th in Craven. Tickets at countrythunder.com. Don't miss Def Leppard at Country Thunder Saskatchewan. Single-day tickets are available now. Spend July 13th with Def Leppard, Kip Moore, and the Roadhammers. Or make it 4 days and see Bailey Zimmerman, Jason Aldean, and so many more. Country Thunder Saskatchewan. In Craven, July 10th to 13th. Single-day and weekend passes are available at countrythunder.com.
What's the hardest part about 7% Mike's Harder lemonade? Is it that it's not big enough to share with friends? We have a Mike's Harder 1-liter bottle for that. Is it that there's not enough flavor options? We have a 12-pack Mike's Harder mixer with 3 flavors for that. With tall cans, 1 liters, and mix packs, maybe the hardest part for Mike's Harder fans is choosing which one. When life gives you lemons, why not make Mike's Hard Lemonade? Enjoy responsibly. Must be legal drinking age.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street. It's time for the Sportscage Riders Coaches Show for the Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation. Get your 50-50 tickets now for all Rider home and away games. Riders5050.ca and Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
Welcome back to the Sports Cage on this Monday. Coach Kent Major.
Sorry about that, guys.
Hey, it's all right. Colson's over there grinding. He's making it happen. Thanks for taking some time on this week.
Oh, that burger talk got me hungry.
Hey,
I know.
You pay $15, a little steep for a burger, Kent? Come on.
Man, I was at Vegas at Guy Fieri's, too. It was more than $15. It was good.
Okay, Kent, since you're the most popular coach in Rider football this weekend, I don't think you'll be buying a burger anytime soon after the way that the game ended on Friday night. So kudos to you. First question, is it exactly like you drew it up before Mario trotted on the field to return that kick?
Oh, man. So before the guys went out there, like, all right, well, expect them to kick it across the field, and we'll have an answer for that. But if they do kick it, this is the return. And we got to play clean. Last year it was similar. We had a chance late in the game, and we had a holding penalty that backed us up, and that killed us. So, it was a safe return for the most part that we do. It was something that we hadn't done all game, and thought it could be there if they did kick it to them. And the guys, they did what they do. So it was great.
What odds or what percentage were you maybe thinking they might squib it? Was that a thought process?
I didn't think they'd squib it. Squibbing's a lot harder than you think, because if it takes there's a hot squib and our fullback catches it and gets down, we could get the ball at the 40 and not much clock runs. So, there's things that we work on, sky kicks across the field, and squibs as well, that people can do to try to keep the ball out of his hands. But it's a tough kick.
How beneficial is it them only having 11 guys on the field?
It was the guy they were missing somebody to the field. So we didn't run a field return, but I don't know. It's tough. I've been in that scenario before where they're blowing it in quick, and you don't ever know. I don't know if they got somebody injured or what, but hell, I was glad. I wish they went out there with 8. We'll take it.
So as a coach, because as a fan, you're watching, because TSN did the counter and they're like, they only had 11. So as a coach, when it comes to, do you try and huddle before a kickoff? And I know it's hard because there's players come on and off. Do you try and get all of your 12 kind of front and center before they go out? Like, is anybody doing a head count, or you just relying on everybody knows what their job is? How does that work?
No, so me and my assistant, we count, and then we'll huddle on the sideline and break out. Obviously on a kickoff return, it's different for punt return. And then we have a guy who also counts on the field, and then we have somebody upstairs who counts to confirm that we have 12. So we as many as you can, but you just never know.
Can you share when's the last time that you had an absolute dumpster fire that you didn't have enough guys? Someone was maybe injured, and you're screaming at somebody. When was the last time that happened for you?
It's the worst day of the year for a special teams coach is the preseason game 2. You know what I mean? So starters aren't playing, but they've played maybe a quarter, and then you try to go by half, and then somebody gets hurt or whatever, and then you're shuffling the pieces. You're like, oh, so that to me is like, that's the problem where you put, you'll have 11 guys out there or something like that, but you try to do your best and you have answers for it. You have protocols in place, but it happens.
So Mario Alford is reaching rarefied air when in his stats, punt return, kickoff return, the yardage, and all of that. How excited are you when you have a weapon like that as part of the arsenal that you get to coach every day?
Oh, it's fun, and it's not just me. Like, the players see it, and they want to protect for him, because they know anytime he touches it, we could go the distance. So our guys, they work really hard in film preparation, on the field drill work. And knowing that you have a weapon like that can change the game, it gets everybody excited to do their best.
One question that I've had, and I've always just, thinking back to high school and you had to play like kick coverage or something like that. It seemed like it was basic. It was like, just do this. In the CFL, from week to week, is there a lot of differences from teams and what you have to prepare for when it comes to special teams? And are there some weeks that you got to be really, dialed in, or are they all pretty much the same?
Oh no, it's just like offense or defense. It really is. So it depends on the scheme you're seeing, whether it's you're going to face a team that does a bunch of double teams and traps, or if it's a man scheme, or if it's middle or field, schemes. And then you always look up matchups and, all right, who are they trying to the double team, or what's the matchup where I can get an advantage, whether it's through movement or just crossing downfield. So it's different.
What makes a good special teams player?
I would say their relentless effort. And we have a saying like junkyard dog mentality. We want guys that are going to run and go hit.
A lot of guys coming into camp, especially if they're rookies, may not crack a roster, a veteran one like the Riders. So they're going to have to come through teams. So do you and Corey have a deal to be like, listen, no, don't give him that iPad. I don't care how many offensive plays or defensive plays. He needs to know these special teams. I get him first, and then you can have him in 3 to 6 games, because that's how the pipeline kind of works. And you don't have a lot of time when you get guys showing up never in the CFL. All of a sudden, within 2 weeks, you got to have them game ready. Probably a bit of a challenge at times, right?
It's one of my favorite things, though, because during practice, he gives us plenty of time, especially in training camp. So we're doing drill work that's specific for special teams. And then once we do our drill work, we'll do some team stuff. And then I'm watching for specific skill set. You know what I mean? What type of skill set does in their position specific drill work that can carry over to mine. So, and then once the lights come on, that's when they really separate themselves. And it's my job to make sure if there's a battle, say at running back, I want to make sure I have equal reps on special teams for those two guys that are competing at running back, because typically it'll be, the best teamer will survive.
Who's a player, maybe in the last couple of years, let's go a couple of years, that started on special teams that you knew, you were like, this guy, work ethic, IQ, he's going to be moving up quick?
Man, I would say Milligan for sure. Like, he got here late in the year, was expanded PR, and I'm like, holy cow, this is one of the best teamers, if not players, on the field. And we put him out there, and it was like, there's only a matter of time before he's pretty special, and it happened quick.
That's what Charleston Hughes said. He saw almost instantly when he showed up just how good Mulligan, as he calls him, would be, because it was a call in a game that he said in the huddle that Milligan called out what the play was going to be because he'd already watched enough film. And we talked about him. I said, well, since he's so good and such a big part of what the Riders do, would you take him off special teams? And Charleston said, no, when you have that dog in you, you never let that dog go away. You let him play as much as you want, because when a guy's in the game, he's better for the team than a guy that has to try and go out there and manufacture it just a few plays at a time.
Oh yeah. And I got to protect him. Like, he's like, coach, put me out there. I want to be, slot or gunner on punt and make every play. Like, I have to say, all right, no, get over the sideline. You're good. We got somebody else that can do it. And when your best players are doing that, that means you got the right culture and you got the right guy. Because, and you look right now, like Therm, he plays a bunch of special teams for us, and he doesn't want to come off the field ever. And when your best players, your leaders are those type of guys, then you're doing something right.
What's something that the casual fan doesn't know about place kicking?
It's not just the kicker. There's a lot of different factors. The snap, the hold, the hash, the wind, the weather. His steps, you know what I mean? So people don't realize that. Are you on the right hash? Well, then your step back is going to be a little bit different.
Trickiest facility, stadium in the CFL from your perspective to kick in?
I think it's hard kicking towards Pill Country, but I also think that Toronto is tough going towards the lake because you're on grass. O-linemen have been beating that thing up all game, so your plant foot feels like it's slipping a little bit, and the wind is tricky.
So when it comes to kickers, and I don't know if you've always been this way or if you've sort of amended what you do. When a kicker's going through ups and downs, and everybody does throughout a football season, do we talk about it? Do we let it go? Do we let a person work it out? What's your role when, hey, it's great. If somebody goes 5 for 5, there's nothing to say. It's high fives. 2 for 5, different story. What happens?
Yeah. To me, it's all the same. Like, we're going to watch every kick, whether he makes them all or misses them all. You know what I mean? And then we're going to evaluate, all right, what was good, what was bad. Because even some of the makes, if it's a miss hit, you got to talk about it. So, and to me, it's just like a hitter. If you're in a hitting slump, you don't just stop hitting. You hit and you hit and you hit, and you got to get out of it. And a lot of it's mental, but some of it we just tweak a couple things. And look at him last week. I know he wasn't thrilled about the results, but even pregame, his kicks were great. And the other ones were really, really good. He struck it well, except for the last one. And he's going to continue to work just like we've been doing. So
you mentioned, the guys that are going to run down and have the dog in them and all that. I mentioned this last week. I had a chance to skate with Brett in the winter. He's a gamer. Like, he might not look it on the field, right? But man, that guy's competitive, coach.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. And he wants to be out there all the time. Like, hey man, it's 60 yards, back up. Like, coach, put me in. All right. That's what you want as a kicker. You really do. And he owns it. Like, he had a rough go and he owns it. And that's what you want too. You don't make excuses. You just go out there. I have to be better for the team, and he's going to be fine.
Speaking of 60s, there's some talent across the league right now. And Sergio Castillo, what do you think his range could be? Could he possibly potentially kick a 70? Like, I mean, he's no late on the 60s. To me, he is one of the best right now in the CFL, and he's consistent. This is your specialty. So what makes him so good?
Oh, he's a machine. He really is. If he's got wind at his back, you just never know, what the distance could be. But man, he just strikes such a good ball. He's got great lift, great rotation, and he's nothing, he's got ice in his veins, it seems. So, but there's a lot, like the punters and the kickers up here this year. I just think it's outstanding. They took us away. Ottawa's punter, Hamilton's punter, and he's hanging 4.7, 4.8 hang time outside the numbers. And I don't care who you got back there at returner, like that took you away for a couple of them. So these guys are pretty special. It's fun to be a special teams coach right now and up here.
Special teams coach Kent Majuri joining us on the Coaches Show. We got a couple minutes left here. I want to ask you played QB as a kid. You played a little bit DB in college, and then coaching. Longest tenured coach, I think, with the Riders, from what I gather. Maybe I could be off a bit. But did you always have that coaching brain? Like, when you look back at yourself in the younger days, was that always you? Were you really good at Tecmo Bowl and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah. I could beat anybody in 1992, John Madden. So if you guys want, I'm in. Tecmo Bowl. Now, I was so my dad worked in construction, but he coached Pop Warner football, which is like youth football down south. And I just remember being a little kid, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. I'm drawing football plays instead of doing math, you know what I mean, at school. And I just always loved the X's and O's part of it. I always loved the team aspect of it. So I always knew that I wanted to be in football. So
who's a player on the Riders right now that you can see somewhere down the line is going to be a coach, has that coaching brain?
Oh man, there's a couple of good ones. I would say special teams wise, Dalkey's as smart as anybody I've worked with. But we've got a couple others. Some of them are too smart. They go make money instead of coach. And I'd say Dalton. He's like a coach on the field for us.
We got Maz. Go ahead, one more, if you want.
BC coming up this week, and they're not off to the start that they want, but there's some weapons there. Some guys you probably want to keep the ball away from. How much prep time goes into each team each week to get ready for the next opponent?
I mean, it takes what it takes. It takes a long time. It really does. And we watch every clip of their season, and then, I go back to the special teams coordinator, what he's done in the past, some success that he's had, and then, what's hurt him. So it's deep dives, and then it's matchups. I'm looking at personnel and, all right, say their left guard on punt. What is he? Is he a striker? Is he a catcher? What's his footwork like? And then who are we going to match up on him just to give ourselves the best chance of winning? So it takes a lot of time. That's why I got all this gray. I look tired because I am. But I'll take 3-0 tired.
Yeah, okay, so now I got a few months here to figure this out. Western Pizza makes a really good burger, so we gotta call Spiro from Western Pizza. I'm gonna bring the Genesis back from the cabin. We'll get Madden 92. We'll set up. We'll have a burger and we'll play some Madden at Western Pizza.
I am in. You let me know.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Best of luck this week.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me.
Right on. Special teams coach with our Riders, Kent Majuri, joining us. Likes his burgers, likes his Madden. Perfect. It is the Sports Cage. We are on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50/50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50/50 is presented by ISC.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca.
Here we are. The famous Estevan Motor Speedway timed online auction begins this Thursday, June 26. This is one of Saskatchewan's largest auctions. Close to 750 lots of RVs, fifth-wheel campers, snow machines, ATVs, farm and ranch equipment. Go to macauctioncompany.com to browse through the hundreds of lots. That's the famous Estevan Motor Speedway auction opening this Thursday.
Since 1942, Unifor 594 has safely served the community and the ever-changing energy sector. We are the unionized workers at the Co-op Refinery in Regina and the Co-op Ethanol Complex in Belle Plaine. We are process operators, tradespeople, lab techs, warehouse workers, tank car loaders, administration staff, and so much more. Unifor 594 workers are also your neighbors, your friends, your volunteers, your community. Unifor 594. Safety is our business.
This summer, if you're thinking of a new building, think Olympic Buildings. They're engineered from top to bottom to be better than the rest. Strength, solid design, and impressive good looks are all standard on an Olympic farm building. Visit olympic-buildings.ca.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. For all your hot water needs, call on Reliance Heath today.
Off day for the Riders today, but they did sign American wide receiver Josh Alley. He's coming in from the Atlanta Falcons, undrafted free agent in 2022, spent 3 years there. He did sign with the Calgary Stampeders in February, but was not on the team's final roster. A corresponding move, the club released American running back Mario Anderson Jr. Western Canadian Baseball League, the sale of the Regina Red Sox to Queen City Sports Entertainment has received unanimous approval from the WCBL Board of Governors. Red Sox hosting first place Saskatoon tomorrow. Blue Jays off today. They're 4 back of the Yankees in the AL East. NHL news, Trevor Zegras traded to Philly from the Ducks. The Flames have signed Justin Kirkland to a 1-year $900,000 deal. And in the NBA, if you missed it yesterday, OKC and Canadian Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Lucas Dort are NBA champions. That is your Sports Ticker in Hour 1 for Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals, keeping you in hot and soft water. Call on Reliance. Hour 2 coming up. We're going to go to the text line and hit up all your texts, and we'll even open up the phone lines. It is the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
Country's greatest hits live right here. 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news. Saskatchewan officials say they've made some progress on containing wildfires in the province's north. Steve Roberts is with the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency.
We're not done yet, but it does change our strategy somewhat now that we have a handle on some of these larger fires.
Roberts says one-time $500 checks are being distributed to evacuees 18 and older at a cost of $3.8 million. Some parts of Saskatchewan were hit with more than 50 millimeters of rain over the weekend, with Lucky Lake seeing the most at 71 millimeters. Environment Canada said other high totals included 62.5 millimeters in Scott, 58 millimeters in Rosetown, and 56 millimeters in Outlook. Some areas experienced flooding, which can vary depending on how much water the ground can absorb. The rain came from convective activity moving up from the south, which often causes thunderstorms and heavy downpours. A judge has sentenced a Regina chiropractor to 15 months in the community for sexually assaulting a patient. Court of King's Bench Justice Janet McMurtry says a prison sentence would have made it difficult for Ruben Mans to support his family. His lawyer, Blaine Bevan, says the defense is pleased with the decision.
I think he's feeling relieved that he's going home with his family tonight. He knows that there's going to be a lot of work for him to do on this CSO going forward. And I think that though he's happy he's not going to jail tonight.
The judge says Mans is to follow a curfew and have no contact with the victim, as well as keep the peace and be of good behavior. While Saskatchewan gas prices remain unchanged at $1.33.6 per litre, Canadians elsewhere are paying more. The national average rose to $1.40.7 this week. Gas Buddies Patrick DeHaan says rising oil prices due to tensions in the Middle East are behind the increases. He warns gas and diesel prices could rise even more this week, but says extreme price spike claims seen online are likely exaggerated. Still, Canadians should be ready for higher pump prices soon. Sask Energy will safely flare natural gas in Wilcox tomorrow. The 30-minute procedure starts at 8 a.m. near East Avenue and Range Road 2205. A 40-foot flame might be seen. The routine process helps with pipeline maintenance and cuts carbon emissions. Sask Energy says gas service won't be affected and safety crews will be on site. And Canada and the EU have signed a new security and defence partnership in Brussels. The agreement is a step towards Canada taking part in the Rearm Europe initiative. Prime Minister Mark Carney says the partnership is crucial for Canada and shows a way forward.
Our strategic Canada-EU or EU-Canada strategic partnership for the future will build a new and deeper relationship that brings us closer together, from defence to digital, from supply chains to security.
Carney will travel to The Hague tomorrow for the NATO summit, where member nations will decide whether to endorse a substantial increase in the defense spending target from 2% of GDP to 5%. That is your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
It's the wildest western weekend in Saskatchewan. July 5th and 6th, She-Ho Sports Days and Ranch Rodeo is back. Saturday features Gymkhana, Bunnock Tournament, Barrel Racing, Jackpot, Mud Fling, Chariots, and Chuck Wagon races. Sunday's got the Ranch Rodeo, Mutton Bust, and Wild Pony Races, Saddle Bronc Men's Fastball Tournament. Rodeo dance in the beer gardens both days and more. Get in for just $10 a day. Kids 12 and under, $5. Kids 6 and under free. She-Ho Sports Days and Mud Fling and Ranch Rodeo, July 5th and 6th. Brought to you by Sega, Sask Energy, Richardson Pioneers, Shamrock Ambulance, Flamens, and Zuchkin Farms.
Employee pricing has arrived at Crestview Chrysler with the 100 Years in Canada event. That means $99 per week on a new 2025 Jeep Compass. Financing as low as 0% for 72 months on select Ram 1500s. Save up to $26,000 on the new Dodge Durango Hellcat. Or get into a new 2024 Dodge Hornet for as low as $38,995. Take your pick, boss. It's employee pricing. Only for a limited time at Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks. 1865 McCarra Street. Weather tonight, partly cloudy sky. Possibility of an isolated shower in the area. 20% chance of that and a low down to 9 degrees. Tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny and a high of 20. Tomorrow night, clear skies, low down to 8. Looking ahead to Wednesday, mostly sunny and a high of 28 degrees all the way to Thursday. Partly sunny, spotty showers in the area again, and a thunderstorm, 40% chance on Thursday, and a high of 27.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
You say
move,
and your cows say you tell them
your water is right over there,
and they say you can't convince a cow to move to the water, so move the water to the cows with a Keln Solar Livestock Watering System. With a Keln Solar Livestock Watering System, you can put your pump pretty much anywhere without the cost of hooking up to the grid. Learn more about the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System at kelnsolar.com. Keln Solar, we move water.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Keln Solar. 35 years of experience moving water from a dugout or well without electricity. Visit kelnsolar.com to find out more about your livestock operation. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the Sports Cage. If you missed any of it, you can go back and listen to it in podcast form, like the Coach's Show with Special Teams Coordinator Kent Majuri. Another
What a guy.
good one. What a nice guy. You got to go back and listen. Coach's Show, I got to give a plug also. Forgot. Coach's Show always for the Rider 50/50 Foundation, where this week's early bird is the PEI Cavendish Beach Music Festival. Get your tickets before Thursday, or take $76.50 in cash. And for Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canada, and they're now into their new 40,000 square foot facility on Park Street.
If you guys do end up at the Western Pizza eating, playing Techno Bowl 92.
No, Madden, sorry. I'm no good at Madden. Those Genesis Maddens, I'm no good. Tecmo Bowl, I can hold my own.
I'm assuming there's going to be drinking. After the first couple of games, can we go into the parking lot and do a pass, punt, kick competition? Because there's nothing better than adults that have been drinking try real sports. I got money on Kent. I like you, but he does this for a living, Barney. He will own you. He will own you.
I almost want to take you up on that now, just because you are giving me no credit.
No, you'll put in. It'll be a good effort. But I'm just saying this is what he does for a living.
All right, set it up. I'm in. You got to have.
I don't know.
I don't want to blow an Achilles though. That is my biggest fear in life, blowing my Achilles.
There's bylaws, and I'm saying that Western Pizza parking lot with the Robbins Donuts. I don't know that there's enough room. If there's a lot of other patrons there, it could get dicey. What if the ball goes out into traffic on Albert?
Robbins Donuts.
There's a lot of logistics.
She gone, by the way. But I think we could set up. We could kick it towards the Superstore. You got to kick it over the traffic. That's West Side. That's hey. You got to get it up in the air.
Does Mayor Baczynski need to issue like a special permit for this? Like, is this going to need something?
Mayor Baczynski, speaking of him, my daughter played flag football against his team. Good guy.
Okay.
Hung around. Whoever the head coach on his team was, psycho football coach. They're up like 42-0, yelling at the ref about calls. And I'm like, you understand what the score is, right? We were sitting on the sideline. I felt so bad for the refs and the kids. But yeah, and it looks like Mayor Chad was kind of like, "Oh, I got to get out. I got to get away from here."
Well, I know you're public. It's funny.
Yeah,
I would love to next time we get him on the show. What you thought public life would be, and because when you're a private citizen, that's one thing. But once everybody kind of knows who you are, and in the age of social media, everybody has their phone out. Like what is changed? You know, it's funny you mentioned you had an intense football weekend with the kids. We had a bit of a sporting weekend, but ours was way more calm. On Saturday, it was the final swimming lesson of the season. So, and I will give you not a word of a lie. Here's the lineup of the graduating class for Swimmer 5. These are the names. And they're not normal names. These are all new names. There was Hayden, Jaden, Caden. Those are the boys.
Yeah.
Piper, Chloe.
Chloe rocks.
And then our daughter, Naya. Not a normal name amongst the 6.
No Steve.
Everybody passed. No, Steve. Not
No
a
Linda.
John.
No, when's the last time you ever heard? When was the last time you had a young girl named Linda?
My neighbor Sonia, I talked to her yesterday. There's not a lot of Sonias anymore.
How does she spell it?
Not
There's some funky spellings of Sonia out there.
I believe it's Sonja.
Yeah, the JA always can get you. Yeah.
Yeah. And her and Rick came out. They're getting new shingles and stuff. They got a skylight in the house, which was a bit of a mistake. Trust me, this thing went on for about 40 minutes. I'm just going to give it
hailstorm.
The skylight. No, the skylight's staying, but they are getting new shingles. I'll just wrap that in a bow, and we can move on.
We're playing SaskTel Pick the Score. Colson just gave me the thumbs up because we had enough likes on the YouTube channel so far. Colson calls the shots on this. So SaskTel Pick the Score. We got a chance to win tickets to the next Rider home game, which is coming up this weekend against
Saturday.
BC. And if you're the closest to and get picked, you got a chance to win a $200 SaskTel gift card. It's all thanks to our friends at SaskTel. So what is the score of the game? 936-6262. Speaking of the Prairie Land Rentals text line, which we have to get to, do you want to tee it up with the Luke Wilson? First off, I like Brian from Neudorf. Obviously, too many penalties in the game. The one that got me out of my chair, picturing Big Bri getting up out of his chair, pretty aggressive here, was on Toronto, the roughing the passer on Toronto's final drive. As a defender, I don't know what he's supposed to do when the QB ducks his head for the hit. Do you pull the flag? Get it, Bri. Totally get it. That was a really interesting call.
But the Riders get called on that too. And that's one of those rules. And the quarterbacks these days, they're smart. They know how to game plan that. All right? If a guy's coming at you, duck your head. There's a chance that you're going to get a call because they're going to protect you. It's no different than if somebody comes by and barely touches you, fall over. You may catch somebody that doesn't have the right angle where it looks like you're getting pushed after the play. Fall down, duck your head.
Yeah, or pass interference calls this weekend. Flag football. Anyway, we won't get into that. We got Kyle from Coder, southwest of Moose Jaw. He says, Brett has to really make those kicks. I feel bad for the guy, but it seems like when it's pressure points, he struggles. I'm sure he will get it going. And Tommy Stevens, I can't say how much I like that guy. It's about time we have a good short yardage quarterback. Tommy Stevens, I don't know how you physically can stop that guy. You need maybe 2.5 humans.
Calgary could have used him on Saturday. They got stopped twice on the 1 yard line. 2 different drives. Cost them the game.
In front of 800 people. And $15 cheeseburgers. No, just hamburgers. Cheese is more.
Cheese. Who could afford, in this economy, who could afford cheese?
Thanks, Kyle from Coder. Lawther, we're all tugging to say he's going to turn it around. He's going to turn it around. Is there a point, though, that all of a sudden it's like we get the press release, Riders bring in kicker so-and-so, just to maybe, because like you always go to late in the season against Winnipeg. That seems to be your thing. That's when you think that's going to happen.
Lest something happens to Castillo, advantage Winnipeg in the kicking department, because dude's good from anywhere, especially long range. And he kicks in bad conditions in Manitoba, just like here. And you're going to face that in November, whether it's here or there. There could be a day where, the wind is blowing sideways. And that's probably not good. Should we explain this Luke Wilson thing? Because for a lot of people, Luke Wilson is an actor. And he's been in some good movies like Old School. But then there's Luke Wilson.
Wedding Crashers. Yeah, original.
So there's Luke Wilson, who is from Ontario, played U.S. college football at Rice, was drafted by the Seattle Seahawks, kind of played in the same era as John Ryan in Seattle, won a Super Bowl, retired, and he's been an analyst on TSN, mostly for the NFL up until this season. Now he's diving into the CFL, and he's now a sideline reporter. He's been out east, and on the weekend, he shared some of his thoughts. And it's got a lot of people angry because he, as a football player, was being honest about what he thinks about the product and some of the flaws when it comes to growing the game.
What are some of the things that, if you're watching the stream, you pop it up there, the font's a little small. What are some of the things that jump out with you with what he said?
When he was talking about the Argo Rider game, he said, next, let's go to the end of the game. It's junk ball. Yes, I said it, junk football. First off, Sask misses a chip shot 33-yard field goal, which would have basically sealed the win. Instead, they are awarded a point for missing it. Ball wasn't returnable, didn't land in the field of play. Then they kick off and give up a 9-play TD drive where there's one penalty, one incompletion, and every other play is a tackle inbounds. No timeouts are used, and it took 139. There are no big plays either. It's mainly checkdowns. Nothing could be more gimmicky than that. You basically eliminated any sort of 2-minute drive. There's not the slightest bit of urgency needed.
Yeah, it checkdowns because that's what the defense is giving you. So then if you load things up and take away the short, then you're going to see some stuff longer, I would think. That would be my rebuttal there.
So for a 3-down throwing league, there were 4 total completions of 20-plus yards. There were 12 quarterback sneaks. All right. So on that one, I'll agree. Because like in the NFL, I wish they would have banned the tush push because I hate it. It's not a football play. It's a rugby play. Run it in. But like Philadelphia, like I get it. I don't mind the Eagles, but the tush push thing, it's like if you have 7 or 8 dudes pushing you, you're probably going to get that half yard or 1 yard.
I'm shocked that it wasn't banned.
Me too.
I'm shocked. The junk football thing, ooh, that would have got a lot of people hot. That would a lot. The one thing that I know we tried to get him on the show, of course. 3 different angles. We tried to get him on today. He's probably Caleros style ghosting us today. I ain't picking up those texts or those calls. But the one thing that I don't agree with is the 2-minute drive in the NFL and how that is supposedly so exciting. I would like to run the data on how many games are over. Because you can't. It's kneel down central. You can't come back in the NFL. Yeah, now if you're on the other side of it and you got the ball and you got 2 minutes, then you get into the 2-minute offense. I've always liked the CFL, that whole, it's not over till it's over in the CFL. Yeah, no, I've always liked that little kind of quirkiness. And I think, and going through the texts here, who was it? Ralph in Yorkton. It's like, it's not about comparing us to the NFL. He kind of goes into it a bit, but that's right. I think that's how I look at it. I've never been CFL's better than the NFL. NFL's better than the CFL. They're different things. Games. Rock music, country music to me.
They're 2 different things. I would be more mad at this Luke Wilson stuff if we would have lost. But we're 3-0. It's kind of like I'm Superman right now. Things are just deflecting off me. Normal things that would get you down, boom, doesn't matter. We're 3-0. If we would have lost on a walk-up and be like, yeah, but I get it. He's made a lot of people mad. He's not wrong on everything. There's some stuff in there I agree with. The quarterback sneak, well, you're trying to get a first down and you're trying to keep drives alive. So if it's 3rd and a half yards, should you be throwing a bomb 23 yards down the field?
That's going to happen, though.
Inside slot.
You watch.
I know.
Tommy's going to do that.
Wait, just wait. Tommy Stevens is either going to break one off the side like he did to the Riders last year.
We talked about this last week, and it almost happened. I was listening to Dave.
And then there's going to be a pass play, and they probably have already those closed practices. They practice it where he's just going to take a step forward, but then he's going to take 3 back, going to bomb it down the field. I bet you they save it for Labor Day, 2nd quarter against Winnipeg, just when nobody's expecting it. They'll already have won He'll already have run one for a first down just to get them thinking.
Yeah.
But by the second quarter, watch out on Labor Day. Book it.
Funny 14-year-old son this week. We were watching the Calgary-Ottawa game. We had invested interest in the weather that was rolling into Saskatchewan Sunday. So we were watching that for a bit. It was painful. That's how boring our Saturday afternoon was for a bit. And he goes, really good comment. He goes, why do they have the goal posts at the goal line in the CFL? Then he starts going through in his little 14-year-old football brain how you could run plays and use the goal posts as like a defender.
Decoy.
He's like, oh, I'd run a smash out. And the defender would hit the goalpost. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's how I said the NFL used to have that back in the day. You watch the black and white stuff. I said, yeah, very observant. Curtis and Kyle says that the reffing was terrible. The CFL also seems to be turning into the old NFL. More ball control and more defensive-minded coaches. Okay. A little bit. Some swearing on this one, so I'm not going to get to it. Ray Lane in Saskatoon, loved the show. Luke Wilson's comments about junk football, not warranted.
So
there's always
Luke,
bad football games. Doesn't matter what.
A counterpoint, out of all of the games this weekend, and you didn't like this one, I would say that the Rider-Argo game was the best of the four because despite a fake paper comeback in Edmonton, Montreal had that game won in the first quarter on Thursday. The Rider game was pretty good throughout with a great finish. Ottawa-Calgary, even once the weather cleared up by the second half, that was awful football. And then the Bombers looked in control in BC pretty much the whole game. It wasn't necessarily close. So the Rider game was the best game of the weekend. So, and if you didn't like that, I hope you didn't waste time watching the other three because, Barney, like you, I watched some of that game Saturday, Ottawa-Calgary. Oof. Big play VA. That's the bad version of big play VA that you get.
It was a typhoon, though.
Like by the second half, it had stopped raining. But when he's playing from behind, like a lot of quarterbacks, he's a different player, and you could tell because he was just trying to force everything, and it just wasn't there.
It was. I think I went to the horse racing network. After a while, I'm like, I'm going to go watch something from Woodbine. We got Dion from Regina. Says, "Hey guys, why do Rider fans and some media always say this year that the Riders played down to their opposition level again when they struggle for wins? They talk like they're 25-time world champs when you have only 4 Grey Cups in 200 years."
Hey, it's only 113 or 15.
Dion. I like when Dion messages in.
The Argos have 19 Grey Cups. And the Argos were missing, 8 starters from their lineup on Friday?
How many Grey Cups total?
19.
That's hard to believe.
I know. And you tell me after watching what Montreal did to Edmonton and not necessarily saying that the Elks are awesome, Montreal looks good. That Davis Alexander kid may turn out. And Winnipeg, I'm sorry, but Zach Claros, 1 game suspension, didn't. They look good. And they're not afraid to push the ball. And that defense, And Jeremiah Masoli, hey, his time may have come and gone. And some people are asking, the backup quarterback that BC's had for the past couple of years is quite good. If they're never going to give him a chance to play, it would be now. But why not if Rourke is hurt? The big question on Saturday, BC comes to town, is Nathan Rourke the starting quarterback? Because if it's Jeremiah Masoli, turn the lights out. This thing could be done by halftime.
Don't say that, because this is the time last year. We got summer vacation coming up. My family, we go to the same spot all the time. This is around the time last year that we laid an absolute egg against Edmonton. Edmonton couldn't beat the Hilltops or the Thunder, and then they came in here and beat us. So don't jinx it. Speaking of jinxing, don't jinx that. Another one here, Rob from Burbage Lakes. I'm guessing the CFL commissioner suggests a change in sideline reporter for next week.
Well, this was interesting because Stu Johnson, the new CFL commish, just came from TSN. So whoever's in charge now, and maybe Stu put this in play before he left, or maybe it's the new guy saying, no, Luke Wilson, We love your football acumen. We want you on the sidelines. And it's the entertainment business. And if we can let you behind the scenes, there would be a producer. They would have these meetings, be like, all right, hey, what can get us the most views and clicks and get social media going? So, hey, you have an idea? Okay, let's go down this angle. You take this, say this. It's no different than wrestling. Cheap heat, come out, insult the crowd. You know, if you're in Moose Jaw, say Regina's better, or vice versa. On the mic, get everybody hot and bothered and fired up. Besides, this is probably real. There's a little bit of theater of this to do, but it would be interesting to know what the new commish thinks of his old workplace. And they're throwing darts, lobbing bombs at the CFL product. And a lot of people, I bet you
he doubled down on it. Watch. He's going to turn into the...
Ooh, I love a good social media double down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he was attacking like basement podcast guys. He was attacking other guys.
Ooh, hey. As someone invested a lot of money in basement podcast equipment, now I'm starting to take offense. We know it'll get to the point of when he's ready to throw in the towel or put up the white flag when he says, listen, my social media was hacked. All right, I don't know what else to say. My social media was hacked.
No, it's not. I'm very curious we got the coach. We got Double Talk with Darian Durant for Campbell Safety Consulting coming up in hour 3. Really curious to get Darian's take on some of the, because he's read it. Colson sent it to him as well. Here's another one. Mark on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. That was the best game I've seen in years. I don't care about the penalties. The game was crazy. I enjoyed the craziness of the game. I'm 64 years old. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. Don't have a heart attack, Mark. Mark.
Listen, hey, come on. We have free health care.
I was jumping, yelling, screaming. It was so fun watching the Riders full of fire. The other games were boring. It was like watching badminton. I met Mark. My daughter would take offense. Badminton. There's nothing. Elementary school badminton's a wild ride. Go Riders, go. Thanks, Mark, for that.
Ooh, how about if you missed it yesterday, word came out late, the Calgary Stampeders signing longtime Winnipeg Blue Bomber Adam Bighill, who had his season come to an end last year, and unfortunate, was it a knee injury or was it an Achilles? But he's on the practice roster. I'm thinking that because the Stamps play that Stampede Bowl, the gimmick game on July the 3rd with Brett Michaels from Poison, opening, he's the concert before the game.
I know.
That he's probably going to suit up. Adam Bighill. I like it.
I was wondering if he'd get picked up. I was actually thinking maybe it would have been a little bit sooner if he was going to get picked up by anyone. So, yeah, that one came out. Sastel picked the score. Don't forget, 936-6262. Comment on Luke Wilson or the Rider game or whatever. And then you might as well play Pick the Score as well. What is the score? Lions and Riders coming up Saturday. You get a chance to win a $200 Sastel gift card as well. One more here. Tom in White City says Luke Wilson isn't all wrong. He made some good points, especially the 12 QB sneaks. Yeah, that's a lot.
He's not all wrong. And I think he touched a nerve because some of it is, we've all been saying that we don't have obviously the forum that he does, but when we talk about CFL football amongst our friends that are also fans, we have a long list of things that we don't love either. Does Colson have the black book out? I'm going to go Riders 35, Lions 24. No, everyone's on the fence so far. So give a prediction already, somebody. Riders 35, Lions 24 on Saturday. We're 4-0 going into the bye week. Look at that. There's no jinx. I think we beat the jinx because...
What did you say? Simply, you didn't catch it.
35 for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 24 for the BC Lions.
I'll go 34-23. Price is right. The price is right. Get punched in the face. Yes.
You're gonna dollar bid me on this? Wow, we're creative. Way to go. Way to go. Are you gonna cut in front of me next Monday when there's free pizza before the long weekend at the staff lunch too, just to be like, whoa, I got the last piece of Hawaiian.
Another one. There's talk that on the text line, there's talk in the Elks. I think we've talked about this. Elk Circle that they're going back to the Eskimos next year. Almost a done deal. They didn't have enough time this year for all the changes. As a diehard Eskimo fan, I refuse to call them the Elks or buy anything Elks. I only buy EE merchandise. Once an Eskimo, always an Eskimo. Have you heard anything? I have not, but I thought there was going to be some big unveiling or reveal this year. And then I've also heard that there wasn't enough time to do it. I don't know. Have you heard anything on the mean streets?
If they're going to do it, just do it. You can change things slowly. Most people, and so far twice in this show, I almost still referred to them as the Eskimos because that's what their name has been for so long. So if it takes a little while to get some signage changed at the stadium, your fan base already knows who they were. They won't be offended if, that sign doesn't say that. It will take a little time. I think there's bigger things going on now. And can we...
Big things,
after seeing what the Florida Panthers have been doing with the Stanley Cup, which has been awesome, by the way, I'm just going to put out there, Connor and Leon don't even have the personality, if they did win the Cup, to do a tenth of what these guys are doing. So don't get me started. You don't even deserve. Are you going to be drunk in the ocean with the Cup? No. In the North Saskatchewan River? No.
Hey, growing up in Saskatoon near the river, you got to be worried about that current. That was always a scary thing. We're going to get to hockey. Bear with us. Keep the text messages coming on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Really good engagement. Hey, if you want to call, 1-866-767-0620. Colson is going to screen some calls. We are going to talk hockey when we have the Clutch Performer coming back, because I really got to get in to something, and I want some maybe Oiler fans to chime in as well. And I'm not trying to poke fun or poke the bear or anything. I know it's been a rough few weeks. It is a Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com. Colson says thanks to everyone who subscribed and hit that like button on the YouTube channel. And as always, we are on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
The Gleaner S9 Series combines are designed for farmers in the business of farming. A harvest is successful when a crop is harvested as quickly and efficiently as possible and produces a clean grain sample with little loss. The Gleaner combine offers levels of harvesting performance and efficiency other combines are unable to achieve. Simply put, Gleaner combines save more and cost less. See the Gleaner S9 at Nick's Service in Emerald Park or go to nickservice.com. The Gleaner S9, built with the farmer in mind.
We asked Karen about how easy it is to invest her money with Brian Golly at Smart Investing Solutions.
All I do is when I have money to invest, I call Brian. I ask him, what would he do? A lot of times I'll say, what would you do? And he just tells me what he would do. And then I just say, okay, here's what I have. And overall, he's made it very easy, very simple.
Get started today at smartinvestingsolutions.ca.
For everything hockey, head to Extreme Hockey and Sport. Spring hockey is around the corner. Get fitted to your specs with the best team at Extreme Hockey. Be sure to check out Umbrella Marketing and Tarrington and his team for all your team, corporate, and business needs. Corporate or work event? Check out our custom Yeti and engraving options. Make any occasion a special one. Extreme Hockey and Sport, 1425 McIntyre Street, and the Pro Shop conveniently located at the Cooperator Center.
Hey, I just got Wi-Fi down here.
Oh, just down there in the corner by your mouse hole in the wall?
It's from Glasser's TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer. You should get it too.
I do. My entire house here is blanketed in fast, reliable Wi-Fi while getting security and safety tools to help me manage my connected home.
It covers all that space up there?
It sure does. In fact, I have enough to cover your space down there too, if I wasn't planning on setting a trap for you.
Oh.
Contact Glasser's TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Moosomin today.
Get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza.
It's good to be home.
Mom,
What's for dinner? Can we get pizza?
Before Mom even had a chance to get annoyed, she recognized the good idea one of her kids actually had.
Not bad. Not bad.
After a long day when you don't feel like cooking, think Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or takeout. Order today.
And get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza.
The Sports Cage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
Clutch Performer time. It's easy to go Shea Gilgeous-Alexander from OKC, NBA champ, Canadian from Hamilton. Oh, don't call him from Toronto. You see the Hamilton fans light up any of the threads. Also, is it Lou gets Dort? Dort's the last name. He's from Montreal. Lou? Big Lou. Lou. He's also Canadian, NBA champs, OKC last night. Halliburton blew his Achilles in the first quarter, and he had the calf, and he's on the floor banging it. You just knew, and then they show it pop. Ugh. But Indiana, man, did they try and gut that out? So a couple of Canadian basketball players are and then anyone involved in flag football in Regina, refs, coaches, everyone that organizes it. One of the biggest leagues in North America. Good job. Some crappy weather this weekend. They got it all in. Good job, everybody.
My clutch performer.
Luke Wilson?
I'm going to have to go Brad Marchand and Sam Bennett because since the Stanley Cup has been handed out, there is not a moment on social media where these two either look sober or coherent, first of all. Alex Ovechkin is jealous because remember, it was in 18 or 19 when they won the Cup and Ovi was just going crazy?
And, what was the other guy's name from Washington that was cuckoo from War Road, Minnesota?
TJ Oshie?
Oshie.
Yeah. They're making the best of it. Sam Bennett had a speech yesterday after the parade, which we tried to edit. There's too many F-bombs to edit. Like there's just one giant beep. And I think he said in the club that he's not going anywhere. So they're putting on an epic performance, which leads me to believe Connor and Leon don't have the same personality. Like there's no way if they were to win, because if they were, so my cousin Robin, who lives in Saskatoon, who has Oilers season tickets, if they were to win, Robin, who's going to go to whatever bar they're at, is going to try and get close to them, maybe want to hug them, maybe want to drink from the cup and pretend after 4 seconds of conversation that they're best friends and that they're going to hang out again. They don't give off that vibes. McDavid will probably do a private event at his wife's bistro for select people, and then that's it. They're not at Dairy Queens. They're not in the ocean drinking beer at a bar. They're shotgunning
her bistro. Her bistro, just as soon as I see the pictures, nothing wrong with this. It reeks of that little fancy plate appetizer, weird food thing. Give me a plate of dry ribs, please. If I want an appetizer, I want a French onion soup or dry ribs.
All I know is if it comes out looking like Art Deco, I know I'm not going to be full, and we're probably going to stop at a restaurant drive-thru on the way home.
Colson, do you have a clutch performer?
Yeah. I don't like doing this because I don't usually like giving anything to the Bombers. But after their win, they posted this video, and I found it quite hilarious, and I think Maz will get a good laugh out of it too.
This is funny.
It's the CFL calling.
It's a picture of a phone with the CFL trying to call. And then it's a picture of Zach Collaros. 2-0.
On the screen.
Yeah. Sorry.
Really good job.
Too busy winning. Can't answer
really
your
good
call.
job.
So.
Whoever made that from Winnipeg, from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, guaranteed they crush Pints at Silver Heights.
Absolutely. Another quick clutch performer note. I found this out, and this is kind of it's 2.5 true out of 3, I would say. But apparently this is the first year where we've had 3 playoff MVPs in major sports leagues that are Canadian. Because you've got SGA. Mm-hmm. You've got, was it Reinhardt?
Mm-hmm. No.
Sorry, Bennett.
Bennett.
Yeah. And Freddie Freeman, who is technically Canadian because he plays for Team Canada.
Yeah, because his mom was from Canada.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Canadians popping off in sports.
No NFL, though.
No, not yet.
Okay, that's the Clutch Performers. Always for Nick Service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. Let's stay on the hockey front. Let's stay with Edmonton because we haven't done the show since, you got these ready? Since Connor McDavid talked to the media. I feel so sorry for Edmonton Oilers fans because you have to know. This is like your wife calling and being like, we need to talk. Listen to this.
As you said, yeah, it's only been a couple days since the season ended. Take some time to regroup. Talk to my agent a little bit and family and all that, and make some decisions whenever that time comes. But there's no rush on anything like that.
Stop using that. Stop using. I need to talk to my family. Connor.
Yes.
Okay, Connor. You didn't. If you did, great, because your parents were rich. You didn't grow up in a 6,000 square foot house. Your parents probably didn't make 12.5 a year times 6 to 7 years or whatever you've made so far. You have more than enough money for your family to survive. Don't talk to the average everyday person. Be like, no.
But Kate,
you didn't start out that way.
I hear that. I hear that clip, and then this is just what goes through my brain. 48 years old next week, by the way. I'm 47 right now. I need to talk to my family. What's his wife's name? Lauren. Okay, probably fantastic lady. Really nice lady. Are you gonna talk to Lauren and your dog Leonard? You don't.
He said his agent first.
What family? What are you going to talk to your parents? What do your parents give a rip? Like, it's not like they live with you, that you're in the basement. It's like, hey, mom and dad, is it okay if I stay another 8 years? There's no family. It's your wife and your dog.
It's a cop. You're giving a cop-out answer. And the other thing too, and McDavid to me always, because he has the weight of the world on his shoulders, looks miserable. Even before Matthew Tkachuk, they won their first Stanley Cup, when he'd be interviewed, and he's one of the better players, but he's not, let's say, McDavid status. He'd crack a smile. He looks kind of pleasant. Maybe he, jokes around a little. McDavid just looks so serious. Same with Austin Matthews. These guys look so distraught all the time. You can tell it's not fun.
McDavid, all the time, looks like that picture of him in the airport with that elderly Oriental couple.
Yeah, I sent that out on the night that they lost.
He looks like that all the time.
Yeah, there's no fun there. So even if he were to win, that's why I say, if they were to win, the videos you see coming out of Florida, and maybe you absolutely hate it, but these guys are having a ball. Living life. Living la vida loca, Ricky Martin, circa 1999.
Oh,
all right?
Leather pants guy.
Connor and Leon, if they were to win, there's no videos like that.
Okay,
they're too guarded.
Let's go to the second clip, which is just cringy for Oiler fans. Come on, the writing is on the wall, is it not? Here it is.
I think you know what you mean to Oiler fans and everybody. And Leon said, obviously, he'd like you here forever. It's not something you had to talk about, but with the July 1st window opening, when you look at, just what you've built here with this team and how close it is, do you feel like there's unfinished business for you?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. This core has been together for a long time, and we've been building to this moment, all along. The work that's gone on behind the scenes, the conversations, the endless, disappointments, and some good times along the way, obviously as well. We're all in this together, trying to get it over that finish line. With that being said, ultimately, still need to do what's best for me and my family, and that's who you have to take care of first. But of course, there's unfinished business here. Yeah.
You have a dog. You have a dog and a wife. What's the big decision? Put him in a kennel, hop on a plane. If you sell your house, great. If not, some doctor will buy it.
This was like listening to that. So if you're a Dallas Stars fan and you're like, oh man, and they didn't show well against the Oilers after they beat the Avalanche. A couple days later, because I follow him on Instagram, Jamie Benn and his wife and their young kid and their cat were in a private jet flying to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho to go spend the summer at, I think it's Gaza Ranch. That really expensive resort that all the rich people like Gretzky and all that have a place at.
There's a bunch of them around the world.
So Jamie Benn recovered quite well from losing out to the Edmonton Oilers because he's still rich. He's flying on a private jet with his child, his wife, and an animal to go have a nice summer of maybe doing some wakeboarding and some late night dinners, and some golf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Connor, stop with the family. Stop with you make $12.5 million a year. You've made 70 some million. Stop.
Yeah.
Own it. Don't put your wife or your family. Just be like, I'm going to make a decision what's good for me. And I don't think I see that we have the pieces right now. And I'll go back to what I said last week. Much like when Gretzky got traded and they won a cup with Messier. Draisaitl can drive this team. They put the pieces around him because he's a warrior. He's a player. He plays physical.
You're high.
No.
It's not like the 80s where you could get the free agents. You could get the people to come to Edmonton. Now McDavid's gone and Leon's sitting there holding the whole, he's the Sherpa. No.
Let's say if you're Brad Treliving, because Brad's got to screw up at least one more NHL team before he goes. Matthew Nyes, that Cowan kid, and whatever else the Leafs have, Connor McDavid, and you get him, let him go there. That they haven't won it with him, and not saying that they won't, but when they only dedicate $3.25 million to their goaltending situation, and like, is Nuge ever going to get called? Like, are they ever going to cut bait with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins? Or is Nuge just an Oiler for life? Not that he hasn't. Trust me, that guy's been through some of the good and the bad. But
what a person should do is really, where does Lauren want to live? Where does she want to open up a bistro? Is it Venice Beach? Is it Laguna Beach? Is it, wherever in Florida? Vegas?
It's not
Nashville?
It's not North Edmonton where my cousin Dallas got married at some town hall.
That definitely isn't. It probably beside Mr. Sub. No, that wasn't her dream when she thought of this. I got a Love Plus, a Mr. Sub, and Lauren's Bistro. No,
I still remember
a new pizza place.
I still remember that wedding. We're driving to the hall. It's like 12:30 on the Saturday, and I lock the doors because I'm like, my wife's like, oh God, I don't feel so. I'm like, I don't know. Like, are we close by? Because I don't. I'm like, this is not good.
We gotta go to break.
Okay, and I'm just gonna a little quick update. The marriage didn't make 2 years. Just putting that out there.
He got the Connor McDavid call. We need to talk. It's exact same thing. It's on the same level. Trust me, Connor wants out. The writing's on the wall. It is a Sportscage. Oh, by the way, Colson says thanks to everyone who's hammered the like button and subscribe on the YouTube channel. And then Nathan, I got to say this. Nathan messaged in on the YouTube channel. He's coming to his first Rider game, never been to Regina. Where's a food stop? He's asking for a food stop. I said, have you ever had Regina-style pizza? And if you hadn't, Western Pizza. If you like an all-dressed pizza, Western Pizza, South Albert, call any of them. Get an all-dressed Western Pizza. Maz, come on.
Just no shrimp. As long as there's no shrimp on it, I'm good.
Yep. It's a Sportscage. We are the home of food tips. We're the home of the Riders. And we're on YouTube through sportscage.com and 620 CKRM.
So since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it. I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here, I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
You hungry?
I could eat.
You want the usual?
Mm-hmm.
What else is there to talk about? Palliser Direct Online Hail Insurance. It's that easy. Save up to 13% on your crop hail rates this year when you purchase online through Palliser Direct. Insurance has never been easier. Visit palliserinsurance.com anytime, anywhere.
Calling all skilled heavy-duty mechanics. Core Industrial Services has an exciting opportunity for you. They're hiring a full-time heavy-duty mechanic to join them at their 9,000-square-foot shop in Rocanville, Saskatchewan. As a heavy-duty mechanic, you're responsible for performing maintenance and repairs on a wide range of equipment, from heavy machinery to light trucks and more. At Core Industrial Services, they believe in the power of teamwork. Apply today on their website at coreindustrial.ca or call them at 306-745-4844. Core Industrial Services, where expertise meets opportunity. Apply now.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50/50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50/50 is presented by ISC.
Sask Lotteries has over 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
620 CKRM and Harvard Media believe in being accountable to you, the listener, which is why we participate in the Canadian Broadcast Standards Council. We are committed to upholding the highest standards of broadcast excellence and adhering to the codes and conduct administered by the CBSC. If you have a comment to make about our programming or a concern about something you heard on our station, contact us on our website, 620ckrm.com. or visit the CBSC's website, cbsc.ca.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sports. Whatever your sport is, Extreme Hockey has you covered.
Riders off day today, but they did sign. They brought in American wide receiver Josh Alley, 6 foot, 193, signed with the Atlanta Falcons as an undrafted free agent in 2022. 3 years there, and then he did sign with the Stamps in February, but was among the team's final cuts. Also, the Riders have released American running back Mario Anderson Jr. to make room there. Western Canadian Baseball League sell the Regina Red Sox to Queen City Sport and Entertainment. That has received unanimous approval from the WCBL Board of Governors. Figured that was going to happen. Sox and Saskatoon tomorrow at Currie. Saskatoon's in first place. Blue Jays, they're off tonight. NHL, Trevor Zegras traded to Philly from the Ducks. Calgary Flames signed Justin Kirkland to a 1-year, $900,000 deal. And NBA, if you missed it yesterday, a couple of Canadians, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Lou Dort, are NBA champions. That is your Sports Ticker in Hour 2 for Extreme Hockey and Sport. Whatever your sport is, Extreme Hockey has you covered. Get in there to see the new Bauer Flylight gear, sticks, skates, all that. They've always been local, supporting local Extreme Hockey and Sport. All right, Maz, I got to. We're going to get to the Red Sox report in a second, but text message here. I think it was from Dion. I heard online from a sports writer talking that McDavid to the Hawks in a package going back to Edmonton. Would you do that? No. And if I'm Lauren, maybe Lauren wants to set up a bistro in Chi-Town. That would be interesting, actually. McDavid in Chicago. And Chicago does have a lot of young Bedard. Yeah, Bedard. Yeah, Bedard's no McDavid, boys and girls.
But unless Chicago is, what are they going to do? Well, I was going to say TJ Brody, but they just bought him out. Yeah, no. Some of the rumors, obviously the Leafs, the Kings.
Yeah. Hey, Bistro
the Rangers.
Time.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
One of the sexier players. That's like what the Jonathan
Rangers.
takes. So first,
Lauren would love Manhattan.
I wish Trevor Zegras would have got a year under Joel Quenneville to see what he could turn into. I think they gave up on him too soon. And the other thing, in the Jonathan Taves, dude, Winnipeg, really? Like, why not? If you're just going to do a 1 year, Florida, Vegas, somewhere with some pop and some sizzle, and a chance to win.
I respect him for that. We can get more into that in hour 3. But Manhattan, that's a good little pick. All right. Darian Durant in hour 3 coming up, and a whole lot more. Thanks to everyone who's participating on the Prairieland Rentals text line. And let's get into it right now. Here is our Regina Red Sox report.
Showcasing the boys of summer. Time for another edition of the Sportscage Regina Red Sox Report on 620 CKRM.
For Unifor 594, energy workers putting the care in career since 1942, safety is our business. I'm Tegan Whitco. The Regina Red Sox were handed 3 straight losses to kick off the week last week, but eventually found their groove. After having to cancel the game on Saturday due to a wet start to the weekend, Curry Field was a busy place yesterday, featuring a Sunday doubleheader, beating the Sylvan Lake Gulls in both games. Now that all players have arrived from their respective colleges, they have a full roster, and the team shifts focus to this week. Tomorrow, the Red Sox will host the East Division leading Saskatoon Berries for Country Night before packing up the bus for a trip to Toontown in the second half of this home-and-home series. Then it's off to Medicine Hat for a pair of games to wrap up the week. Heading into this week, the Red Sox have an 11-8 record and sit at 3rd in the East Division. And that's your Red Sox report for Unifor 594.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
You don't go to Country Thunder to see your favorite artist. You go to Country Thunder to see all your favorite artists. Country Thunder Saskatchewan returns with Def Leppard, Jason Aldean, Bailey Zimmerman, plus Nate Smith, Tyler Hubbard, Kip Moore, Tim Hicks, and so many more. Guarantee your spot. Country Thunder Saskatchewan, July 10th to 13th in Craven. Tickets at countrythunder.com.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Do you have a safety program or OHS committee? Call Campbell Safety. Harassment in the workplace? Call Campbell Safety. Don't know if you have a proper safety program? Call Campbell Safety. Once you have an injury, it's too late to have a safety program. Be proactive with Campbell Safety Consulting. They'll come out and customize your safety program and be that extra set of eyes you need. 35 years experience doing health and safety, and they have seen it all, and then some. Call them today and get a free consultation. Campbell Safety Consulting.
It's finally returned. 0% financing is back at Capital Ford. That's right, interest rates are low and inventory is high, just like the good old days. Check out the 2025 Escape, Bronco Sport, or the best-selling F-150 and get 0% financing over 72 months, OAC. Plus, Cash for Clunkers is back. That means a guaranteed $2,500 trade when you buy with us. So what are you waiting for? Get into your brand new truck or SUV at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
From the SAS Today newsroom, here's what's making news in Saskatchewan.
Iran is threatening to close the Strait of Hormuz after the U.S. hit targets within Iran and its nuclear enrichment facilities.
SAS Today's team of local journalists are on the ground focusing on local topics that matter to you. Sign up for our daily news digest, making the news even easier to access. SAStoday.ca. Everybody has a story. From Harvard Media, everywhere.
Country Corner, brought to you by Municipal Hail Insurance. Proudly serving farmers. MunicipalHail.ca.
The 6th annual Coast to Coast Collector Car Auction is Saturday, June 28th at the Cowley Curling Club in Regina. For more information, visit coasttocoastauctionssk.ca. Indian Head Parade Days are happening June 28th and 29th. Enjoy a weekend full of fun, including the parade, antique market, and live music. Full details at townofindianhead.com. The Thunder on the Prairie's modified truck and tractor polls are July 4th and 5th in Odessa. Monster truck rides, show and shine, heavy horse pulls, and bands playing both nights. Look for Thunder on the Prairies on Facebook. And the Creelman Fair is coming up Saturday, July 19th. Parade, craft and trade show, horse and cattle shows, and much more. Check out CreelmanEggSociety.ca.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com. We are the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news for Echo Sound and Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. Saskatchewan officials say they've made some progress on containing wildfires in the province's north. Steve Roberts is with the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency. He says there are 19 active wildfires with 5 uncontained.
Changes to date from a fire activity have been progress. We have received some favorable weather. Crews have been active on these fires.
Roberts says 2 communities remain under an evacuation order as most residents of Creighton and Denair Beach returned home over the weekend. Heavy weekend rains soaked western Saskatchewan, with Lucky Lake getting 71 millimeters, the most in the province. Environment Canada said Scott got 62.5 millimeters, Rosetown had 58 millimeters, and Outlook received 56. Some areas saw flooding, depending on how much water the ground could hold. The storm was caused by southern convective activity, which brings thunderstorms and big rain events. Experts say this kind of rain isn't common and likely won't happen again this year. A major credit union was approved last week in Saskatchewan. Sask Today's John Cairns has the details.
Leaders with Connexus Credit Union say they are excited after members overwhelmingly voted yes to a merger with Synergy and Cornerstone Credit Unions. Now they turn their attention to the next steps. Ken Kozolowski is board chair of Connexus Credit Union. He describes what those are.
The next task for the boards of all 3 credit unions is to get together and pick a name. It's going to be the name of one of the 3 credit unions, Connexus, Synergy, and Cornerstone. And we have an independent third-party consultant that's helping us with that. The second, and probably the most important, is to pick a CEO, and it'll be one of the CEOs from the 3 credit unions. And then we're also putting together an integration team, and that really is to start talking about things that we can do before January 1st, 2026 to get us best prepared for this new credit union to start.
In the meantime, it's business as usual while they get to work merging the 3 credit unions. For Sask Today, I'm John Cairns.
And a judge has sentenced a Regina chiropractor to 15 months in the community for sexually assaulting a patient. Court of King's Bench Justice Janet McMurtry says a prison sentence would have made it difficult for Reuben Mans to support his family. Prosecutor Carmody Hollamore says it's a decision the Crown had not wanted.
The Crown is certainly disappointed, but there's room to say that it was a just and appropriate outcome.
Mans was accused of touching or pulling the breasts of 7 female patients over 10 years. A jury found him guilty on 1 count of sexual assault, not guilty on 5 other counts, and a mistrial was determined on the remaining count. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Way to go, Travis Kelce. Son.
As fun as it is watching your 5-year-old run the wrong way or pick dandelions on the football field, what if I told you you could watch your favorite sports or shows on the go anywhere? Well, you can with MaxStream TV from Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer. Take MaxStream anywhere you go.
Oh, wrong way, buddy.
MaxStream and great internet plans available at Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Qu'Appelle, echosound.ca.
Let's get out on the water.
Now is the best time of year to buy a boat or pontoon at Kevin's Marine. Cast a line in a Lund fishing boat. Take the family out on a Four Winds boat. Or head out on a pontoon by Harris or Crest. Powered by Mercury Motors at the lowest prices of the year. There are manufacturer's rebates, dealer discounts, and low payment financing on a great selection of boats and pontoons. Plus Shoremaster aluminum docks and lifts. Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel. Enjoy your summer. Get out on the water. Stop by or shop online at kevinsmarine.com.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina, serious protection, killer looks. 1865 McCara Street. And Croft Electric, 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all your electrical needs. CroftElectric.com, and you can find them on all socials.
A mixture of cloudiness through the night, some clear sky at times, but areas of thicker clouds and showers rolling through mid to late evening, early nighttime, everything will dry up. A couple of isolated heavier showers, mainly passing to the north of Regina, temperature down to around 9 overnight. Through the day on Tuesday, a mainly sunny sky. Some of the early cloud cover still left over from the overnight showers, but will turn mostly sunny as the day goes on, getting up to around 20 during the afternoon. Quiet weather Tuesday night into most of Wednesday, low of 10 and a high of 24. That is right where we should be for this time of year. Wednesday, though, in the afternoon and into the evening, some extra cloudiness will start to mix in as we get into more of an unsettled pattern for the second half of the week. A slight chance of a shower into the evening Wednesday, a much better chance on Thursday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms could be heavy at times where they pop up. 27 is the high on Thursday, and more of the same Friday. Spotty to scattered showers and storms, the high 28. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X, make your truck complete. 1865 McCara Street.
Croft Electric. You've probably heard of us because we've been around for over 27 years. We do commercial and residential work? Yes. We do permanent holiday lighting? Yes. We do cabins? Yes. And farms? Yes and yes. We're an authorized Generac generator dealer. We are a full-service electrical company with the experience and the people to service all of your electrical needs. We are Croft Electric. We will be here when you need us. Do it right, do it once. Follow us on all social and call 306-586-1333 to book.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Kellen Solar, installing solar in residential and commercial buildings for 35 years. Local and trusted. Kellen Solar. Visit kellensolar.com. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
On this Monday, Maz is with me. Colson's in the pocket. Curtis has been in and out. We're kind of having some audio issues, so we're waiting for Darian Durant. We are going to have double talk with Darian for Campbell Safety Consulting, but until
do you remember last week when Darian declared that Shedeur Sanders would be the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns week 1 of the NFL season?
Yeah, and I said I need some action on that. I need Darian's guy.
And then Shedeur went out and got tagged twice for speeding in the past week.
Yeah. We got to Prairie Land Rentals text line's been off. Maybe that's why we're having audio issues. We've had a lot of text messages today. 936-6262, power tools, gardening tools, big items like skid steers, whatever you need. Deal with the owner. Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street. Declan up in Saskatoon. He's got a new home up in Saskatoon. He said a lot of stuff to clean up for the Riders before we're a perfect team. And then he went into his, I'm not going to give his SaskTel pick the score, but a lot of stuff to clean up, yes. And we started the show by talking about that. And it was also, I think, Ray Lane up in Saskatoon and Trevor and Melfort said the same thing, where it's like, yeah, it's not perfect, but give me, and I have mentioned before, a longtime Patriots fan. I've been through a lot of ups, not many downs. Hockey-wise, I used to be a big Dallas Stars fan, but look at this year's Florida Panthers. Look at the OKC Thunder that just won the NBA. There is never a perfect season. It's not a video game. You don't run the table like Tecmo Bowl. Speaking of, Coach Kent Majuri, that was on the Coach's Show in Hour 1, big Tecmo Bowl 92 player, Madden 92 player for Genesis. You'll have to go back and listen to that, and a big cheeseburger guy as well. So it's not a perfect season. There are always games that are sloppy. You win it. But, Maz, you and I have 2 weeks now. These are the games that sometimes the Riders used to lose.
It's way better to be 3-0. If you're the Toronto Argonauts this week and you lose to Ottawa, you're 0-4. If you're Hamilton and you lose again, what are you 0-3? If you're Edmonton going into Winnipeg on Thursday night, you lose, you're 0-3. I don't care how it happens. As long as we win, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
When's it time to panic in Edmonton? Is it panic time now? Are we?
Well, Ed Hervey, who seems like a very prideful guy and a very stubborn guy, he made Trey Ford his starting quarterback in February. Maybe you should have seen a training camp, Ed.
I went under 5 weeks that we see.
I know.
Codes.
People are going to say, well, they put up 22 points in the fourth quarter against Montreal. Yeah, because Davis Alexander was standing on the sideline and McLeod Bethel-Thompson was in. And you could tell that the Alouettes weren't playing as hard as they once were. And the game was close if you look at the final score. But if you watch that thing, Montreal controlled that game from start to finish. And I don't know. I don't know when you panic in Edmonton. They go 0-3 this week. Is it 0-4? What other changes are you making? You kind of hitched your wagon to Trey Ford. Love him or hate him.
What about the crowd? You're 0-4, and you're struggling for a crowd on a nice night on, was it Thursday? Mm-hmm. And what did you say? How many people were actually there? 7?
There's a bunch of guys that follow the Eskimos that I follow on Twitter. That guys that either they're bloggers or they're podcasters in some media. They said there was about 10,000
in a 60,000 seat
stadium.
Ooh, that's a tough look. If you're 0-4. Man, things are. I don't know how you got to turn it around somehow, some way, quickly. But Dino in Regina,
some attributed to a hockey hangover. They're like, listen, maybe it's because the ups and downs with the Oilers, and if the average sports fan spent all their money on that, whether it be tickets or just going out drinking.
Maybe a bunch of them got beat up because they were all fighting each other during that Stanley Cup run. Oiler on Oiler crime.
Haven't seen any Panther on Panther crime. There was 400,000 people at the parade yesterday. Everybody looked to have a good time.
Oh, I heard that today too, listening to some, and it was like, yeah, nice parade. All your fans. Who cares? Just the inferiority complex that we have as Canadians. It's like, so? There's 6 million people in the area. Maybe they only have 100,000 that really care about the Panthers. That's a lot of people. And who cares? Like, yay, we have more fans. So?
Do you think Bill Zito cares?
No, nobody does.
You think Matthew Tkachuk and his dad, who are shotgunning beers on the steps of the Elbow Room, shotgunning Bud Lights, care? No.
Where would they? Like, yeah, Edmund, you wouldn't be doing that at Cook County Saloon on White Ave, or if that's even still a place anymore. Yeah.
People are saying that it's classless that they're starting the chants in the bar that Connor McDavid sucks. And then I was like, well, until somebody knocks him off, they could probably pretty much do whatever. Yeah, maybe Connor and Leon would never do that. Matthew Tkachuk sucks. But Tkachuk is the all-time, and I'm glad he's wearing a wrestling belt because he's the best troll in hockey. Everything he says is calculated. But the Marchand sticker thing, instead of Oilers, it says loser on it. I'm like, ooh, Marshy's coming to play.
We can.
He was handing out cookie dough blizzards.
We'll get more into that in a bit here. It's time. We got him hooked up. Let's go talk to Darian.
We got Darian?
Yep.
It's time for Double Talk with Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Darian Durant. Double Talk is brought to you by Campbell Safety Consulting. At Campbell Safety Consulting, we work towards helping companies create a competitive edge by executing a proactive health and safety program.
Darian, I would be even shocked if you can go through what was your favorite football video game that you played?
Oh wow!
Even going back as a kid, because we were talking to Kent Majuri in hour one, and he said he's got tight game on Madden 1992, which I think was Genesis. It might have been a Super Nintendo, but I think Tecmo Bowl is off the charts. But then in Madden and PlayStation, the first generation. Those Maddens, those were good as well. I don't know which one, and maybe I'll let you answer and then think about it for a bit. But there's never a perfect season. There's never perfect football games. As a Patriots fan, I saw the perfect season except for the Super Bowl. That wasn't a good season. There was ups and downs. There was ugly wins. There was you just won. You won football games. So for the Riders to be 3-0 right now, maybe, as I said, it's not a Picasso, but they're 3-0.
Exactly. It's all about getting it done, right? I mean, especially on the road. And like I said a couple weeks ago, it's not easy to go out east and just win football games. You have to deal with travel, guys who have small injuries, these swelling, it flares up when you take these long flights. There's all type of things you have to take into account when you take these long road trips. So it doesn't matter how you get it done. The objective is to be 1-0 after each and every week, and the Riders have done that. We don't care if it's ugly. We don't care how pretty it is. We don't care if it's overtime. It doesn't matter the weather. These guys won a football game, and that's all that matters. That's the objective. At the end of the season, when you're looking at the standings and you're fighting for position and home field advantage, it doesn't matter, or it doesn't say how you won. It just says whether you won or lost, and they got the job done, and that's all that matters.
One of the big storylines coming out of the game, and it was a little tough to watch at times, a lot of penalties. I think 307 yards worth of penalties. When you played, that's got to be frustrating because it kills any kind of flow and momentum you've got going.
No doubt, and especially the ones that are just discipline-based, right? I mean, guys want to fight with helmets on and taking cheap shots after the whistle and, retaliation against quarterbacks. And, it's just dirty football that's going on. A lot of those penalties, it's just about discipline. So you best believe, I know Ryan Dinwiddie personally and I know Coach Mace. So you best believe that in these team meetings, they're holding these guys accountable because you make a stupid mistake and a bad penalty. Not only could you cost guys, the game, but, their livelihoods are at stake. If you lose a game because of a dumb penalty and it ends up keeping you out of the playoffs, and then, that team is not together at the end of the season, you can look back directly on some of those plays and say that this is the reason why you lost your job. And that's not a good thing to have to look back on.
I don't know if you saw it. Again, I listened to the game and then I happened to see the clip. The Del Duncan Busby, the low kind of chop block, low bridge hit there. I was equating it to when Chris Harris from Denver got low bridge by that guy from the Titans out when you're super dirty. Aqib Talib went off. You see a play like that, and I know it's football. It happens. What are you seeing there? What are your comments on that?
You know what? Duncan Busby doesn't, seem like a dirty football player. So I don't want to give him that label. When Chris Getzlaff and Scott McHenry used to come across the line and have to block these defensive backs and defensive ends, it's kind of hard to judge whether you're in the box or outside of the box when the game is moving so fast. So I know what that play is supposed to look like. I think that Duncan Busby was, anticipating the defender to be in the box because that's the only time you can go low. So I don't want to label him a dirty player, but that was a dirty play, and it's just unfortunate because you can see the defender never saw that coming. And, of course, his season is going after that, and you just never know the lingering effects of a knee injury like that.
When you go back and like if something like that happened with you, maybe it did in all your career, college, pro, would your head be on a swivel, being like, oh, they're coming, retribution?
Absolutely. I mean, you have to learn from your mistakes, and I'm sure if I'm unsure of his name at the moment, but if he ever gets back 100% healthy, he'll never not protect his legs in a box situation or when he sees a receiver coming at him. So, unfortunately, he has to learn in this aspect. But sometimes that's just part of the game, and brutal injuries like that, they happen sometimes.
Couple of the bright spots in the game. Donnie Myers went off. He had his best game as a Rider. We've been talking about him for 2 seasons, just becoming just dependable. And then that crossing route for the touchdown. But there was a certain play in the first half, and we're showing the Donnie Myers touchdown here. And Darian, to me, it was one of the most important plays of the first half. It may not make any of the highlight reels, but it gave the Riders what they needed, was the chance to keep a drive going. It was that ball down the sideline to Mitch Picton in traffic, and he goes up and he gets it. And he keeps that drive going. Doesn't turn out to be the game-changing play of the game, but it was so important at the time to keep the Rider momentum going. And that's what I love about Picton. Doesn't get the ball off him, but what he does, he's the Getzlaff that you had. Like, we need a play. Absolutely. I got to go to somebody. It's Mitch.
It's huge, man. Mitch, I joked with him a long time ago, but Mitch is Mr. Reliable. I mean, it doesn't matter if he's in and out of the lineup. He always shows up to practice. He's a hard worker. And when his number is called, he makes the plays. And you have to look at the defensive back that he caught that on, too. Like, Franklin is one of the best DBs in the league, coming off a huge Grey Cup game and playoff run last year where he was just getting interceptions left and right. So for Mitch to make that play, not only was it a huge play for the Riders, but it could build that trust between him and Trevor that whenever Trevor's in trouble or he may need a play, Mitch is a guy you can count on. So just kudos to him, being in and out of the lineup. I know that's tough, but he's just a consummate pro. Whenever his number's called, he just seems to make play after play. So big shout out to Mitch. That was a huge play for the Riders.
The Mario Alford walk-off at the end, and Barney and I chatted earlier in the show. These are the games that we used to lose. We would have tied the game and then lost on the walk-off. Now that's us doing that to the other team. It's kind of nice to see things come full circle a little bit because the Riders have been on the wrong end of that. How deflating if you're the Argos. Like, you claw back in after everything, and Dinwiddie gets it together, and he was playing some decent football, and they're all of that, and just the dagger. And I'm like, I know there was 23 seconds left, but that game was as good as over. I just think that just was the pin in the balloon that would have sunk the Argos ship.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, to make a drive, the way Arbuckle just led the team down the field, took what the defense gave him. I mean, you have to kudos to him for just keeping the drives alive and making plays all the way down the field. But, that's just the Riders' resilience. I mean, even though they gave up a long drive to tie the game, they knew it wasn't over. And when you have a guy like Mario Alford back there, I mean, we all know he's a threat to score anytime he touches the rock. He's proven that year after year. And, it just shows you that this team has no quit. They don't get down. They made mistakes, but they just didn't give up. They had each other's back. Trevor threw an interception, early in the fourth quarter when they were backed up that gave Toronto some momentum, and the team just kept fighting and just kept playing. So, that's just about coaching. That's coaching. That's always having your guys ready. That's the special teams unit knowing that they have a guy that can score from anywhere on the field. So whenever you have a guy like that, I remember having Jason Armstead and playing with Corey Holmes and Tristan Jackson, some of the best returners in the league. And whenever you have guys like that can get a chance to touch the ball, you go all out on your blocks, and coaches emphasize that. So that's just a great job out of special teams and the coaching staff. Just having those guys ready, and when you know that you have a guy that can take it the distance, it gives you that extra, push that you need.
We talked with Mike Hogan, the Argos play-by-play guy, last week, and he talked about there was going to be 6 or 7 changes to the Argos starting lineup. And we asked him, okay, who do you think's going to go off? Who's not a household name yet? He said Kevin Mittal, who was the first-round draft pick from Laval, who set all sorts of records in CIS. He had a good game, and you can see him starting to emerge. What else did you see out of Toronto that you liked? Because they did. They played some good football. And Arbuckle, that was his best game of the season, I thought. He battled. And it wasn't always easy for him, but they showed some guts with 7 or 8 starters out of the lineup to give the Riders pretty much all they could handle.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, just for those guys to fight like they did without key guys in the lineup. I mean, DeVaris Daniels and McManus, Grey Cup champions, multiple Grey Cup championships they have. And for them to just fight without those guys, new guys on the roster, a whole bunch of rookies, the D-line kept fighting. So I saw some signs of fight from the Toronto Argonauts. And, I mean, that stems from their head coach. And I know him personally, like I said. So, it's just unfortunate. They don't have Chad Kelly yet. I think when you get Chad Kelly back, you now have a quarterback with a bigger arm. He can stretch the field. There are more plays to be made out there for the receiver. So I think that when Chad Kelly gets back, you'll see a different type of Argo offense. It's more ball control now with Nick Arbuckle, but when Chad Kelly comes back, you'll see more down the field throws, more sideline throws, and it'll change the offensive game plan for the Argos. But I just want to see the defense step up. I mean, the DBs were there. Franklin probably had if you look at all the touchdown passes, pretty much they were against him, all the big plays. So I know he's looking forward to getting back on the practice field and correcting some of the things that he did wrong. But I wouldn't count Toronto out. Their record doesn't show it, but they've been fighting. And like I said, when Chad Kelly gets back, I think they'll turn the corner, so to speak.
What's your take on this? The Riders have tied a team record for fewest sacks allowed after 3 games. 2. Like, with all the talk of the offensive line injuries and guys coming in and then now they're injured, all that. As a former QB, what's your thoughts on that? That's an impressive number.
First and foremost, I have to look at AJ Ouellette and look at the run game and look at the production on first down. And, the respect that defenses have to show him the way he's running the ball, it opens up that play action. You're seeing a lot more RPO action, which is, you fake the handoff, quick throws from Trevor, getting the ball out of his hands. And that's all about the defense coming up and having to stop the run game. So, we see A.J. Ouellette's offseason plan paying off. He's breaking long runs. He's still showing that he has the strength to fall forward. It's not a lot of second and long situations where Trevor has to just sit back and throw the ball down the field and become a sitting duck back there, right? He's able to use the play action game. You're in second and medium. Now you don't have to throw the ball as far down the field. So just a great job by the Rider O-line of opening up holes, and AJ Ouellette is just making it happen on first down. And whenever you got a guy that can put you in second and short and second and medium situations, the defense, they have to guess. And you can't just tee off on the quarterback.
BC Lions come to town on Saturday. For argument's sake, let's say Nathan Rourke is your starting quarterback. He's his own. What else do you like about BC? Rourke aside, what else do you like about BC? They played Winnipeg as tough as they could on Saturday with Jeremiah Masoli as quarterback. What do you like about BC that may give the Riders a little bit of trouble on the weekend?
You know what? I like the combo of Mark Benavides and Ryan Phillips calling the defense. I think that as long as you have those guys with the experience they have, and those guys coaching the back end, you'll always have a chance. So I think BC's secondary and defense will always have them in games. They'll always make plays, and it'll make it tough for the Riders. We'll see, how Nathan Rourke is later on in the week and see if he's able to play. I'm not really worried about their offense. I think that the Riders' defense can do some good things against BC's offense. So, if anything, I think BC's defense is their strong point at the moment. And we'll see how the Rider pass game and run game matches up against those guys.
We don't know how bad it is, but if anybody that's tweaked an oblique in your, which as a quarterback, Darian, is that something that you think we're going to give it another week, maybe another 2 weeks? Because that's just, you're twisting and you're doing, it's so important.
Yeah. I mean, look, I wouldn't call this a must win, but I think for BC, they need Rourke to play. They need this game. I think he'll do everything in his power to play. This is a huge stage, and this game is very meaningful. So I think they'll shoot him up, freeze him up, and make sure he's ready to go. Even though it's a tough injury to overcome as a quarterback, the way Winnipeg's showing that they're still going to be one of the tougher teams. Calgary's a little bit better this year, and you look at the Riders, I don't think BC can afford to fall behind too far in the standings or they'll get left behind. So this is a game I think they have to have, and he's going to fight through it and play this week.
All right. It is Double Talk with Darian for Campbell Safety Consulting. Let's get into it now. What are your initial takeaways from Luke Wilson's tweet and the pot stirring there?
You know what? I think he has some good points. It's just that when you're dealing with 1-year contracts now, and guys are in and out and roster, there's so much change in rosters. It's hard for fans to kind of engage and have something or a player to follow or have something to look forward to. So I think that is part of the reason why there's a lack of fanfare in Toronto. And at the same time, this is Toronto. I mean, there's never been a huge fan base. Well, ever since my time in the league, I know back in the day, the Dome used to be full, before I came to the league. But I mean, if you just look at the last 20 years, there's just it's just Toronto. And with the Raptors and the Blue Jays and the Leafs, I just think it's tough to compete in that city. And if you don't have any marquee names, you don't have any guys with tenure, guys who've been there, guys who fans love coming to see each and every week, a guy who's been there 5 years where you can buy a jersey and feel like he won't leave the next year because he's on a 1-year deal. I think all these things come into play. So, I wasn't a fan for the players. Of course, I was a fan of the 1-year deal. But when you look at it from a fan's perspective, it's tough to engage. It's tough to be loyal when you go and you spend $200 on a jersey of your favorite player. He's on a 1-year deal. He leaves the next year, and it kind of just it takes you out. You're not as excited to go to the game. So I think that has something to do with it. But it was sad to see. I didn't like to see the empty stadium. And I think I heard you guys speaking on Edmonton. I think it's just a trickle down effect. Whenever you don't have guys who you can look forward to going and check out each and every week, then it makes it hard for a fan to commit.
You need the Micah Johnson no name bar jersey. Right? Just generic stuff when he would go play offensive line. Okay, I need an honest answer from you, because another thing that Luke Wilson was talking about was the end of the game and, the check downs in the CFL compared to the NFL where you can have a 2-minute drive. No, I said NFL can have some really boring finishes too. If it's out of, 2 minutes, it's kneel down fest. What do you prefer? Honest question.
Look, I mean, I'm a quarterback and I'm a former player, so it's whatever you have to do. I don't care if it's ugly. I mean, I think he's speaking from an entertainment perspective, and I get that. But it's all about winning games, and I'm sure that guys who get paid and whose livelihood depends on wins and losses, I'm sure they're not complaining about how ugly the game is or what's going on or how you make a play. Look, checkdowns are a part of the game. If you're in a situation where defenses are just sitting back and daring you to take the underneath throw, then you just have to take it as a quarterback. We have a job too, and our job isn't to throw it to the other team, right? So if you have nine guys sitting back in coverage and the running back is the only guy open, well, you have to throw it to the open guy. So, I understand. And like I said, he's coming from an entertainment perspective. And when the game isn't as entertaining, fans seem to, die down and die out a little bit. So I understand that. It's just a tough situation to be in on both sides. But look, it's all about wins and losses. And, it's also Toronto, like I said. So maybe if Toronto can look at some guys and sign some guys to a 3, 4, 5 year deal, something that's unheard of now. But maybe that's a way to get some fans locked in and get them to commit long term to the team.
One of my points to Luke, and we mentioned this earlier in the show, Luke, the Rider-Argo game was the best game of the 4 of the week. The other ones, that wasn't awesome football. Okay? Yeah. All of those games were pretty much done. Well, BC and Montreal, or Winnipeg and Montreal, had those games by the second quarter. That Calgary-Ottawa, that was a dud because of the weather and then just some bad play, speaking of throwing into 9 coverage. But, Luke, that was the best game of the week, so...
No doubt. And then I guarantee that if it was 30,000 fans out there, it would have been a lot more exciting in his perspective. I think the crowd had something to do with it as well. I mean, there were some big plays in that game. There were very exciting plays even before the Mario Alford return. I mean, Dante Myers had a couple great plays, a huge slant that he took about 70 yards. So you look at the way Toronto fought back and, just kept clawing, and the mistakes late. There were exciting plays in that game. I think he's kind of zoning in on one or two drives, but at the same time, man, look, big plays happen in every game. I would much rather a 39-32 game than a 10-3 football game, something like you would get in the NFL.
All right. We've been doing this. We've had you on now. Third week we're going to do that. What's your pick the score? What do you got? Lions, Riders, what are you going with?
Yeah, I'm going with the Riders. I think this will be more of a dogfight. I'm looking at a 24-17 game for the Riders. I think that it'll be a little bit low scoring. Like I said, Benavides, Phillips together, they don't give up a lot of big plays. Now they have some film on the Riders, and whenever you can get three games of game film, now you have more of an idea of what teams like to do. So I think this will be a chess match more so than a shootout, and that's why I think it'll be more of a low-scoring game. All right, we got it.
Yeah. Okay, what's your favorite? I still need you to answer. What was your favorite football video game was?
Tecmo Bowl. I had the wife order me a system with all the old Nintendo games on it last Christmas, so I still play Tecmo Bowl to this day.
Super Tecmo Bowl or the original with like Bo Jackson, which was cheating?
Both. Both.
Okay.
I love them both.
If you come around Labor Day again, we'll get the NES system out. We're gonna have a game.
Let's do it.
And your boy Shedeur. Your boy Shedeur Sanders, the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Now, are you going to have to go?
As soon as I give him his props and talk up on him,
I know.
Now he wants to go speeding in Ohio. I don't get it.
I know. You're probably going to have to fly to his court date and post bond. Maybe Dad doesn't show. Then there's a guy with a checkbook out saying, Shedeur, come on. I made this bold prediction on a Saskatchewan radio station. You're going to. We can't have you arrested and behind bars for speeding twice in a week.
I know, man. I know. Twice. It's crazy.
Twice.
That's still one of the hottest takes of the year. I can't wait to that week one. If Shedeur's even in the lineup, let alone starting.
I know he's got to get his act together for sure.
All right, Darian. Next week we'll get to recap Riders and Lions. Have a good week, my man. Stay safe.
Sounds good. Later, guys.
Right on. Darian Durant. Double talk with Darian.
Quarterback.
Yeah. From that is for Campbell Safety Consulting. Does your workplace have the proper safety program it needs? Probably not. And if not, you call the professionals at Campbell Safety Consulting.
Darian doesn't live far away in Florida from where the Panthers were having their parade. I wonder if he went down. We forgot to ask.
hard no, I would say.
Barney, I'll just because the numbers are usually on the side of Rider Nation. I bet you out of those 400,000 people that showed up yesterday, there was at least one piece of Rider gear worn to that parade.
I would
for sure, without a doubt.
Yeah, you're a Rider jersey guy, and probably a camo cargo short. If I had to go, if I had to pick bottom.
Oh, and how much liquor is jammed in those pockets when you're going to a parade? In those cargo short pockets.
Party bus. Was Stampede Party Bus. We talked about this a couple weeks ago on the show. All right. Colson saying we got a break. Again, Coach's Show. Thanks to Campbell Safety Consulting. Thanks to Darren. We'll be back on Monday. When we come back, we got some big news coming down in Regina tomorrow. We're going to get to that. It is the Sports Cage on the home of local sports and the Riders, 620 CKRM.
You don't go to Country Thunder to see your favorite artist. You go to Country Thunder to see all your favorite artists. Country Thunder Saskatchewan returns with Def Leppard, Jason Aldean, Bailey Zimmerman, plus Nate Smith, Tyler Hubbard, Kip Moore, Tim Hicks, and so many more. Guarantee your spot. Country Thunder Saskatchewan, July 10th to 13th in Craven. Tickets at countrythunder.com.
Calling all skilled heavy-duty mechanics. Core Industrial Services has an exciting opportunity for you. They're hiring a full-time heavy-duty mechanic to join them at their 9,000-square-foot shop in Rocanville, Saskatchewan. As a heavy-duty mechanic, you're responsible for performing maintenance and repairs on a wide range of equipment, from heavy machinery to light trucks and more. At Core Industrial Services, they believe in the power of teamwork. Apply today on their website at coreindustrial.ca or call them at 306-745-4844. Core Industrial Services, where expertise meets opportunity. Apply now.
Get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza.
There's nothing to make or eat at home for supper tonight, and I'm starving. What's in the fridge? That old casserole from last month? Mac and cheese? No, I had that for breakfast. What about the pantry? That canned fish stuff? Ugh, this is no way to live. Wait, I'll order Western Pizza. That is a way to live.
Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or takeout. Order today.
And get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza.
Here we are. The famous Estevan Motor Speedway timed online auction begins this Thursday, June 26. This is one of Saskatchewan's largest auctions. Close to 750 lots of RVs, fifth-wheel campers, snow machines, ATVs, farm and ranch equipment. Go to macauctioncompany.com to browse through the hundreds of lots. That's the famous Estevan Motor Speedway auction opening this Thursday.
A rolling stone gathers no moss? What a weird saying! Does it gather moss if it's not rolling? So many questions, but what I don't question is where I get my tires. When your vehicle needs the right tires, see your local Cooper Tire dealer. Your local Cooper Tire dealer carries Cooper Pro Control tires. They're designed to wear evenly for crisp handling and engineered to take on water while maintaining grip. Ask your local Cooper Tire dealer about Cooper Pro Control tires today. They'll keep you rolling.
Hello? Is there anybody that could help me with some lumber for some projects this summer?
If you find yourself needing assistance but talking to nobody, then you're definitely not at Freeze Tallman, where they even know you by name. You're not just a number. They'll answer all your questions if you have a decking, railing, or fencing job on the horizon this year. They'll even deliver. Shop local. Freeze Tallman in Regina and Fort Capel.
Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
Off day today for the Riders. Coach's show was great. If you want to go back and listen to that in hour one, Kent Majuri joined us. Riders did sign wide receiver Josh Alley today. He had a cup of coffee with the Atlanta Falcons, did sign with Calgary, but never made the final roster. And corresponding move, the Riders released American running back Mario Anderson Jr. WCBL. Sale of the Regina Red Sox to Queen City Sports Entertainment received unanimous approval from the WCBL Board of Governors. The Sox hosting the first place Saskatoon Berries tomorrow at Curry Field. Blue Jays off today. They're on a flight to Cleveland. Start with the Guardians tomorrow. NHL, Trevor Zegras traded to the Philadelphia Flyers from the Ducks. Flames fans, you got Justin Kirkland for a 1-year deal, $900,000. And locally, Regina Pats have called a press conference for tomorrow morning where it's reported, allegedly, Al Miller is reported to be stepping aside as GM, and Dale Durkach will be taking over.
Oh.
On that one. Yeah, there's been rumors for a while on Al Miller going to work for Hockey Canada again. So that's, again, rumored. Allegedly, that will be the news tomorrow when the Regina Pats have a press conference.
If that is the news, for what Al was able to do in constructing this roster, loading up the draft picks and the talent and just everything, I mean, and he knew he was going to have to take some lumps and some bumps, but what he's been able to do to set them up for the future for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, outside of the Maddox Schultz stuff, that helps. But outside of that, everything else that he has managed to put together, if that is the case and he's moving on, and if it's a step up, hey, you know what? Everybody wants to see everybody succeed. I think he's done a
surgeon-like building of a team. Wait in 3 years how good they could be. Again, under the orange top. Leaky roof spring hockey will be back. Love.
Are you going to be the media guy tomorrow? Going, where's the donuts? Are they not here yet? Are we cinnamon buns? No,
not a donut guy. You know what? More media conferences should have popcorn, fresh popped popcorn. It'd be messy, but
not in the morning. Because what time's the press conference tomorrow morning?
I roll popcorn any time of the day, bud. Yeah, so that'll be tomorrow. So we'll have that to recap. Hoping to get Al on the program, whatever the news is, to start the 3 o'clock hour tomorrow as well. Then the Riders have a press conference. It's the AGM? What do they call it?
Yeah, don't they open up the books to say, hey, we did this, we made this amount of money, or we spent money here? Yeah, they're going to go through the financials.
Kind of been leaked, right? They made $2.1 million last year. Good on them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I bought a ton of Obsidian stuff like everybody else.
You could have put anything in Obsidian green in the last year.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I
think the only thing that I would have added come the holiday season was Obsidian green hockey jerseys. Okay? Because people do like a hockey jersey. Yeah. And this is for the more festive people, but there are people out there. Obsidian green Santa Claus suits.
That's not bad. I don't mind that one. I'm still off the Obsidian green thing, but I'm telling not that they listen to anything I say. I've had a couple of good ideas for the team store, but my recent one is a John Gregory throwback sweater. So not many of them though. Exclusive.
I'm still waiting because it's probably being crafted. The business plan. Maybe tomorrow.
Oh, Pilsner
that's
Cup
why I haven't heard. Exactly. Maybe tomorrow they're going to roll out some prelim plans for the Pilsner Cup, and they just haven't been in contact. I've been really busy. I mean, we had swimming lessons wrap up on Saturday.
Go through those names again for people that weren't listening in hour one. Let's check out these names of
this
kids.
Is in the 10-year-old swimmer 5. This is where the world has changed because the names we name our kids now, there are no normal names anymore. Nobody's named Marge, Rose,
Lori,
Kathy, Lori,
Reginald,
Reg. Every guy, everybody's dad knew a guy named Reg, and Reg was always a mechanic.
Yeah,
names.
Reg is
Reg.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Mechanic guy.
And my dad, who was a mechanic, John, no middle name, just John Masrick, had a friend named Jed. And Jed was a welder.
Oh,
and Jed was a beauty.
No, I was just going to hop in and say the Reg my dad knows. He's a very mechanic-y guy, so
they always
right
are.
Up there.
They
but
always
his
are.
primary, he's a locksmith. And my dad and my uncle own a couple properties around the city. Reg and a few of my dad's buddies were going to go get something off one of the properties. And Dad's like, I forgot to give you guys the key. Oh, no, Reg had a spare set. Huh?
Reg.
Oh, right.
Reg, good guy to know. Good guy to know. Especially if you're getting divorced.
What? I was going to say he always has a 3/4-inch socket and a bottle of whiskey. Reg is never going to let you, no matter what you need, the situation. So at the Swimmer 5 graduation on Saturday, because they got out of the pool to get their certificates, is like graduation. Hayden, Jaden, Caden, Piper, Chloe, and our daughter, just to complete the weird six-pack, her name is Naya. It's Hawaiian for joy.
Yeah, there's no...
Hawaiian for dolphin. Kalea is Hawaiian for joy. Dolphin.
There's no basic names, not even close there. What were the first three kids? They're all like Hayden, Jaden, and Playden?
Caden. No, Hayden, Jaden, and Caden. Those are the three boys. You had Piper, girl. Chloe, girl. Naya, girl.
I like that name, Piper. I coached a Piper in football. Cute little thing. I like that name.
But yeah, anybody named Reg, you're somehow mechanically inclined.
Reg, send the paper. I asked mechanic course. Send the paperwork now. You know what? Another good throwback name from the old school is as we go to break.
Gord. Gourds are usually good dudes.
My brother.
I know. Gourds are usually good dudes. Gourds are dependable. Gourds are dependables. Kyle, my brother-in-law's name is Kyle. Kyle, I'm going to say a little newer, not all that dependable.
My dad's buddy was an electrician. He was over all the time fixing stuff because we're just not a mechanically inclined family. Wilson. He was an electrician. Had a great beard. Looked like Fred Penner. We'll go to break. It is the Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com. And as always on 620 CKRM.
The best thing would be to never have hail. Since we can't control that, the next best thing is to write you a check when the hail comes. Municipal Hail Insurance. 3 tiers of stackable insurance, sold at cost, starting with SMHI, with accurate adjustments, timely and fair payouts. Because the best thing about us is we've been there. Municipal Hail Insurance. Farmers insuring farmers for over 100 years. Deadline for new applicants to apply for SMHI is June 30th.
Let's get out on the water. Now is the best time of year to buy a boat or pontoon at Kevin's Marine. Cast a line in a Lund fishing boat. Take the family out on a 4 Winds boat. Or head out on a pontoon by Harris or Crest. Powered by Mercury Motors at the lowest prices of the year. There are manufacturer's rebates, dealer discounts, and low payment financing on a great selection of boats and pontoons. Plus Shoremaster aluminum docks and lifts. Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel. Enjoy your summer. Get out on the water. Stop by or shop online at kevinsmarine.com.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 5050 is presented by ISC.
Hi, I'm Rob O'Connor, Show Director for Ag in Motion. I'm proud that our outdoor farm show is an annual celebration of Saskatchewan's agriculture industry. The show brings our community together for 3 days to share the best of livestock, machinery, crops, and technology. Everyone is welcome. Taking place near Langham, Saskatchewan, from July 15th to 17th. Go online to aginmotion.ca to get your tickets and learn what's in store this year.
What's the hardest part about 7% Mike's Harder lemonade? Is it that it's not big enough to share with friends? We have a Mike's Harder 1-liter bottle for that. Is it that there's not enough flavor options? We have a 12-pack Mike's Harder mixer with 3 flavors for that. With tall cans, 1 liters, and mix packs, maybe the hardest part for Mike's Harder fans is choosing which one. When life gives you lemons, why not make Mike's Hard Lemonade? Enjoy responsibly. Must be legal drinking age.
With Seco Prestige, less pain equals more wow. It takes just 1 coat to achieve true coverage and amazing results. And that's something to be proud of. Save 30% until June 25th. Seco, see color.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street. Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com and our YouTube channel. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Cammy texted in, said, love the name talk. Super funny. Colson, you want to continue it?
So I found the other day somebody's list of their T-ball lineups. They are Jackson, and Jackson, and Aiden, and Aiden.
Different spellings if you're not watching the stream.
Yeah. My favorite Jackson is the last one, spelt Gyakzun. So,
Jack's son. I like that, batting in the 9 slot.
Yeah, so unique names and unique spellings. That's everything.
You know another name you don't get a lot of Corneliuses anymore.
No.
Hey, it makes me want to take a train.
I got a cousin named Raymond. If we're going proper, Ray. His brother Derek. Not a lot of Rays anymore.
No.
My brother's name is Wayne. There's not a lot of Waynes. Gretzky aside.
Presley. Chicago Blackhawk, great.
That's Presley, I would say, is probably pretty new school, and that'd probably be a girl's name these days.
No, Wayne Presley. So my one buddy, though, named his kid Freddie. He's probably about 6 years old now, after his dad, Freddie. And then my nephew, they just named their kid Franklin. So, like him.
My brother-in-law Kyle, their kid's a year old. They named him Howard.
Yeah,
Howard's not a common name anymore.
It's my sister's dog's name. Howard. He's a little bastard. He's a little. Sorry, I can't swear on this. He is. He's that dog that barks all the time.
But you know this. Your wife is a school teacher. Mine's a school teacher. There's a lot of names you can't name your kid if your wife has ever been a school teacher, because there's usually some kid that has wrecked a name forever in their mind. Never naming them that.
And I got 3 of them off the top of my tongue, but I'm not going to say them. That is exactly right. Ask a teacher. It's their last week. And then it's hibernation time.
And if you're a parent, leave them alone. They've had enough. Do not email them. They're barely getting through.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they drink, buy them alcohol gift card. If they don't drink, then some sort of gift card. Don't make them anything. Don't try and figure out what size they are. Gift cards.
What?
I don't know. Okay. That is the Cage. Go. Big news tomorrow with the Pats and Riders. I'll be back flying. So Don Hewitt's going to come in for an hour tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you tomorrow.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saturday is game day as the Riders take on the BC Lions. Countdown to kickoff with Justin Duncan, Tegan Whitco's at 2. The pregame show's at 4. And kickoff with Luke Mullender and I is at 5. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network is brought to you by Young's Equipment, GMS Insurance, and PlayNow.com. Stream every moment of Rider football at Sportscage.com.
On the farm, dirt doesn't just get under your fingernails. It runs through your veins. Your equipment is just as tough. You bought it for its rugged dependability and efficient operation. To keep your machinery running as good as the day you bought it, you want genuine AGCO parts, fluids, and filters from Nick Service.